Three boys in the room.
Oh no.
It's
Bing to bang boom, 3 boys in the room.
That's
Those
not
are
what
all
I
fine.
said, but you got the spirit. It's
Those
Three
are
Heads
all
Are Worse Than
fine.
One podcast. Episode 5. How y'all doing? And by
Good.
y'all, I mean you two, because I don't care about anybody else.
Now it says you're
And
on.
also,
Okay.
there's nobody else here.
Correct. For now. You never know.
For now. Yeah, next episode we'll have a guest speaker.
No, I already
Viewers.
I spent enough time telling you two to shut up.
The extra person will be another person that we have on the podcast.
No.
It sounded okay.
Okay,
Maybe
thank
I
you.
was a little quiet.
Thank you,
but
thank you.
I don't know.
Oh, stay hydrated.
Oh yeah.
So, it's
Don't stay
been...
hydrated.
He's staying hydrated.
1 week.
That's
since
two.
you.
What?
What is happening?
It's been 2 weeks. It's not 1 week.
It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since we did the podcast.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Dropped your arms to the side, said I'm angry.
There was rumors about this podcast going weekly.
Yeah, rumors.
Good joke.
We've got a crazy busy August though, so
I know,
maybe after
I'm
August.
I'm kidding.
What weeks in August does the podcast technically fall on? Because that's going to be a non-starter.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Let's.
It's not going to happen. Is what it is.
The 28th of July, and then the
See,
11th and 25th. Oh, that's doable. That's doable.
Is
for
it?
sure.
Yeah.
11th and 25th. We're not doing anything on those.
Yeah,
dates.
because we're on Thursdays rather than weekends. It's
Yeah.
weekends that are hard to schedule in August.
Yeah.
In fact, fuck it. Let's just go weekly. No, I'm just kidding.
Weekly.
I don't know if your heart could handle it, George.
Weekly. Yeah. that's
Anyway,
probably true.
some cool stuff happened in the science world recently, and by science I mean outer space. That's basically the same thing.
That's basically the same thing, right?
Basically the same
Yeah.
thing.
Well, it depends if you're talking
Cool
about outer
pictures
space.
of outer space equal science, right?
Of course.
It depends if you're talking about astrology or astronomy, right?
Why is my
I
thing say
would not
unstable?
consider astrology outer
What else
space.
could be running? Oh, hold on.
What? You don't consider astrology outer space?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I mixed them. I jumbled them in my head.
George, how's the stream sound? Because I'm saying it's seeing like unstable and low bit rate. Does it sound okay?
I just unmuted it.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, it looks and sounds okay to me.
Okay. No, I don't know. It's usually green across the board. I don't know. Oh well.
Yeah.
If it's an issue, I'm sure.
What if you were listening to like a professional podcast?
What do you
like in the middle of it? They were like, "Hey, check the podcast. Make sure we're sounding good."
Well, I mean, not that's what you do, and it's live, dude.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
podcasts are
guess.
edited. You can cut that shit out when it's recorded, dummy.
Yeah, we
I
can
guess
cut that
that's
out
true.
for YouTube.
We are
But, I mean,
professionals.
I've seen live like the live H3 podcast. Sometimes the producers will be like, "Oh, this or that or whatever" mid podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're self-produced. This is the entire team, and most of
All
it is
three of
George.
Yeah, it's George. George is the team.
Oh yeah, Team George. Let's go.
Let's go. So space,
Actually,
though.
I don't.
Yeah. So
Are these all the pictures that we got here in the Discord already, or?
those are all the ones that I could find, at least on the timeline.
Are we gonna show
side view.
these on stream?
Yeah, I thought that was the plan.
Give me a second.
If you want to just go to my screen, I can pull them up on my screen.
Oh yeah, sure. Hold on.
Although I don't want it to show the rest of the Discord. Here, I'll just open them in a file. Give me.
All right, let
one
me know
second.
when
We'll just do this.
you get
Lizzie
it.
Borden.
No, don't look. Okay. No, don't. Just open it with pictures.
Spoilers, dude. Spoilers.
Okay, now it's in Paint. Okay, good enough. We can talk about it, right?
Can I show your screen? Is it safe?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, space.
There's space.
Oh, George's files. Oh, his folders.
Don't look at my files. No.
It'd be kind of funny if, as soon as Ryobi asked if it was safe to share your screen,
It's
if you
just porn.
immediately switched to porn.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been such a good prank. Fucking prank.
That would have been such a good bit, dude.
Yes, prank, exactly. Just tank the entire show.
Pranked.
And yourself.
Oh yeah. It would have been weird porn too. It would have
George,
been like midgets and refrigerators. Sorry, what?
What are we looking at here? What are these?
Okay. So the one on the right is like thousands of galaxies. I should have done better research. But is like thousands of galaxies up to like 13 billion light years away, which is the new max distance we can see thanks to this updated telescope. And the left one, I'm not
Was
too
the
sure.
was the previous most powerful telescope still the Hubble telescope?
Yeah.
That's wild. When did the Hubble go up?
It was old. It was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. So that's quite an upgrade.
Shout out to everyone I just called old.
Shit. I just And then this is the Carina Nebula, and it's sort of like a birthing ground for stars. And the red dust
Stars
is actually
go there to give birth.
Mm-hmm. And the red dust is energy being emitted from the birthing of stars or whatever.
I think I went there in Mass Effect.
Wait, for real? Like fucking visible like sci-fi like
energy dust? I don't know. That's what the
dust.
I shouldn't have closed the Times article.
No. This is fine.
It's
energy, and if you don't believe us, go look it up and learn.
I was just like, oh, that's just a bunch of like space shit. Like.
I mean, that's everything.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, that's probably basically like dust, essentially.
It's big dust, RJ. Big dust, but far away.
But it's not dust.
And on fire.
Energy. It's not matter at all. At least if what George just said is true, it's
force.
It's non-physical.
It might as well be the Force.
Yeah, it's Star Force.
It's the Force.
I feel like the least prepared substitute teacher of all time.
No, if you're the least prepared substitute teacher, you'd put on Bill Nye.
Yeah.
And then he'd talk about it. You're not the substitute teacher at all. You were scheduled for this.
I'm the primary teacher. And then this was either the image of a star dying or being born. I can't remember. I think dying.
One of those two things.
Or alternatively, it's like a dude's face.
Yeah.
It's like a monobrow.
Or a cyclops.
I see a dude.
Yeah.
And then the line under it is like a he's got like a strand of hair going up his nose. It's an interesting look.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all.
Actually, it's a dude on
crack.
On life support.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
very fun and funny.
I can't riff off that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Or like
a
dude pretending to be on life support with like an iPhone cord.
Yeah, you know when you just pretend to be on life support with your friends, with your buddies, you get like just a rubber tube you have laying around the house and sticking on your nose.
That'd be like a funny prank on like your mom or girlfriend or something.
Yeah, because they that's all you need, all the evidence you need to trick them.
Yeah.
I bring that up because I saw a picture of like someone doing exactly that online. Like either like to try to get out of work or like something like that. I can't come in today, and he's just got like what's clearly like a phone cord taped to his nose.
Did you guys see back in like the day of like YouTube pranks when like people were like pranking their significant other by like pretending to kill themselves in a bathtub?
Yeah, I remember.
No, because I'm not a degenerate.
Well, I just watched like commentary channels making fun of those channels. I didn't actually watch
good save.
Yeah. So I'm okay.
I almost lost respect for you.
Yeah. But anyway, so do we want to just jump right into my I figured since we were already using my screen, we can just jump right into the true crime segment that I've been working on.
Okay, so RJ, gut check. Which is it? Murderer or unfortunate witness? Knowing no other information than this photo and the name. Murderer, 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with murderer.
It's just more fun that way. All right.
Interesting.
Now we'll
All
be
right.
proven right or wrong. Isn't that right, George? Take it away.
Indeed. So the overview of the case. We're in the summer. It's the summer of 1892. We're in Fall River, Massachusetts. Andrew. Oh, I put Border, but it's Borden.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Andrew Border and his second wife,
Abby, were both hacked to death in their homes. They were found in separate rooms on different floors, and the only item of note was a hatchet head in the basement with no blood or handle. Here are the crime scene photos. On the left, you have Mrs. Abby Borden, the stepmother of the family, and you have the head of the house. I picked a blurred picture. I mean, these are so low quality. I figured TOS probably wouldn't hit us, but the blurred one seemed appropriate for Twitch. But yeah, so one of them was murdered in like a sitting room on the couch. The other was found in the guest room. Now, the cast.
Wait, sorry, can you go back?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're going to go into more detail on this,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't really look like hacked to death. When I heard hacked, I pictured like pieces.
Well, she just hacked their heads, but she hit.
That'll do it then.
Or well, I won't say she. Sorry, I'm painting a picture that I didn't mean to paint. But the assailant hit Abby either 18 or 19 times in the head, depending on the source, and the Andrew he hit 10 to 11 times in the head.
Okay. No, that's hacked then. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. Questions are encouraged. So, who was staying at the Bordens at the time of the murder? We have Andrew Borden, the head of the household, the breadwinner, a relatively wealthy man for his time. He'd be worth about $4 to $7 million.
$10 today.
No, 4 to 7 million ish today. So he didn't do bad for himself. He was like a banker and a landlord investor type dude.
He was mediocre.
Sucked.
He was a measly millionaire.
Yeah, he's not a big business daddy, and that's probably why he was murdered.
That's probably why I got hacked up.
Yeah. And then Abby Borden, his second wife and the stepmother of the daughters. You have I'm thinking of the Evans Gambit again. Emma Borden, the first daughter of Andrew, and she was out of town at the time, so she's not really a suspect. She was at her friend's getting fitted for some dresses. Bridget Maggie Sullivan was the live-in maid, and the only other person at the house at the time of the murder. John Morse, Andrew's brother-in-law, and then prime suspect Lizzie Borden.
Upon viewing of more photographs, I have changed my mind. I now believe it was John Morse who did the deed.
Interesting.
He looks like a villain.
I'll go into that at the end, but there is a famous sort of he's sort of the famous second suspect that some people point to. Here's the layout of the Borden home with the bodies and a picture of the outside house. It's actually now a bed and breakfast, and you can stay in the home and soak up the atmosphere. Actually, in one of the videos I watched, the BuzzFeed Unsolved, they actually stayed in the Lizzie Borden home.
Why though?
Why?
It's just an old ass
murder, dude.
It's an old ass house where people died. Why is this a tourist destination? I don't understand people.
Because ghost hunters mostly. They got to take their spirit boxes in there. They got to take their Ouija boards, and they got to try and commune with Abby and her late husband.
Surprisingly smallish house for a millionaire.
Yes, well, this is an important point of the case. Andrew was incredibly frugal despite his wealth. He was a known penny pincher, and we'll get into a little more detail on that later on. And here is the attic and the basement. This is where Bridget was during the murder, but we'll get into the timeline.
What a wild way to depict stairs.
Indeed.
Can I?
Okay. I guess I'll go back.
No.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
Are they like?
I think it's because they
Are
go
they
up
are
in
they
both
supposed to be
directions?
turning stairs, but like they don't?
I don't know. I thought they'd sort of go up like this. I'm waiting for my hands to come up on Twitch. I'm doing a hand motion. I don't know when it will show up. Because
Okay.
oh, there it is. I shouldn't watch myself while I'm doing this, but it's fun. Okay, so into the timeline. 7 a.m., Andrew, John, and Abby have breakfast in the kitchen. Then at 8:45 a.m., John leaves the house to visit other relatives. This alibi was cleared by police, but some suspicion has been raised about this alibi because in some accounts of his alibi, he talks about being with the town doctor, but the town doctor was the one examining the bodies. So, but then some accounts of his alibi just have him on a tram with like 6 priests, and then the tram driver remembered the priest but didn't remember John.
That seems like a wild like what a wild claim. I wasn't there at the murders. I was with a lot of priests. Like
Well-
a surprising number of priests.
Well, I think that's what kind of
I'm a
cleared
very
him.
holy man.
Well, no, he was just on a tram to go visit other relatives, but he said that he saw 6 priests on the tram, and the tram driver remembered 6 priests. So it was like, how would he know there were 6 priests on the tram if he wasn't on the tram?
So here's what I'm thinking.
That's some like thoughtful deduction that I feel like that's an interesting. I like that.
But also, think about it.
Mhm.
If someone says you committed a murder, you're like, no, I was with some people. And you're like, oh, who are you with? Some very chill, non-violent, spiritual people. You mean priests? Yeah, priests. Like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like the kind of thing you just kind of make up.
Yeah, but he would have had to have gotten extremely lucky for there to have been six priests that a tram driver remembered still.
Maybe he
The
paid
other
the tram driver.
possibility is he somehow knew
That could be true. He could have bribed them.
their travel ahead of time.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like
also
he was
true.
acquainted with these priests, and they were like, "Yeah, we're
really
gonna go on a
chill
we're
with
gonna
priests.
yeah we're gonna go on a priest trip to Priestland."
Yeah. Okay, so
I love
moving on.
Priestland. Sorry.
Andrew leaves the house to attend to his business. And Abby goes into the guest bedroom that John has been staying in to do some tidying, to do some cleaning. And at the same time, Maggie is sent outside to do some window cleaning. At 10:45, Andrew comes home and lays down in the sitting room for a nap, where his body is found. Maggie does the same in her attic bedroom, so 2 floors up from where Andrew is, 1 floor up from where Abby's body is found. Then at 10:50, we have to rely on Lizzie's statements to the police, but Lizzie goes outside to look for lead weights for a fishing trip about 5 minutes after Andrew comes home. At 11:15, Lizzie from outside hears a thud and a groan. She comes inside to find her father dead and calls for Maggie. Police and the doctor arrive and I got conflicting accounts on this, whether it was the police and the doctor finding the body or if it was Maggie, the maid, with a neighbor. But either way, Abby is found dead in the guest bedroom, and they discover her blood is already dried and coagulated. So they come to the conclusion that she was likely killed at least an hour before Andrew, closer to an hour and a half by their estimation. But again, this is in the infancy of forensic anything. So that's just an estimate at best. But there was clearly some amount of time between the murders, because Andrew was still dripping when the police got there.
So he was fancy. He's dripping.
Indeed. Dripping with blood.
Actually, that wasn't
funny. Dude. Yo, this fucking murder victim, this guy.
Look
He's
at
got
his
so much
sick
drip.
duds, though.
Dripping. He got the drip.
Gold chains and
Oh man.
no neck to put it on.
Oh, yeah. All right, so immediately, Lizzie's the prime
Think anyone would
suspect.
mind if I Took his clothes.
She was notably composed after finding such a horrible crime scene. She was known to not get on with her stepmother and was upset with her father's frugal ways despite being wealthy. At the inquest after the murders, she was inconsistent with her stories and gave inconsistent statements. The apparent time between the murders all but ruled out an intruder, and a pharmacist said she tried to buy poison from him days before the murder, and she was seen burning a dress the Sunday after the murders, and the same witness who saw that claimed that Lizzie had predicted something bad would happen shortly before the murders. And then, 4 months after the crime, Lizzie Borden is arrested. Now, the prosecution still has an uphill battle. One thing I meant to put before this, her dress was completely void of any blood or anything, which was the biggest hurdle for the prosecution. And on top of that, all the evidence was circumstantial. The inquest was ruled inadmissible due to being given without Borden's lawyer present. It comes out at the trial that Lizzie Borden was prescribed morphine shortly after the murders, which could account for her inconsistent stories and stuff. She was taking a strong opiate. It's not exactly like she'd be consistent. Emma testified that she told Lizzie to burn the old dress because it had paint on it, and the pharmacist claim was also ruled inadmissible. So it was a real uphill battle for the prosecution.
Who was Emma?
Emma was the older sister.
Okay.
And she was out at the time of the murders, but she was due to come back like the next day or so. And Lizzie Borden was acquitted in one of the trials of the century. And this actually led to a creepy nursery rhyme where it's I'm trying to. Lizzie Borden grabbed an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she'd seen what she had done, she gave her father 41. You better hope she doesn't find you, or else she'll give you 42. I think is the full creepy nursery rhyme. So Lizzie lives the good life post-trial. She and Emma moved to a more expensive neighborhood and home. It's important to note that if Andrew had been ruled to have died second, his estate would have been inherited by Abby, and then Abby's children would have greatly split up Emma and Lizzie's inheritance. So it was important for them that Abby died first, and Andrew would be a widower. That way, all of Andrew's stuff would go down to his children, and none of it would go to Abby's children. Andrew,
okay. I think you miswrote this.
I did.
Yeah, because you said if Andrew had died second, then it would go to Abby's children.
Yeah.
But then you said like.
Oh yeah, I did write it wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Andrew had died first, not second. Sorry.
Yeah.
And sorry, I wrote it backwards. My bad. Thank you for catching that. Yeah. So that's backwards. My bad. I did write this quickly today, but Andrew would have been worth around 4 to 7 million today, which is I said that earlier, but Emma and Lizzie are unemployed and completely depend on their father's money. And Andrew had even began signing over some properties to Abby. I said over twice too. Wow, terrible slide. Moving on. Things that make Lizzie look innocent. She had no blood on her dress, and dresses at the time were not simple to take on and off. So she maybe could have gotten away with it when Andrew was at work, which is when, if she's the murderer, that's when she would have killed Abby. So she could have maybe changed and cleaned up after that one, but, the police came 15 minutes after they found Lizzie called out and found the other body, so very small time frame for her to have cleaned up. But and then she was a woman. This is more like evidence of the time. She was a small woman, and some said she couldn't have committed the gruesome murder. I think nowadays we know that with adrenaline and strong emotions, a small, skinny person, woman, or even adolescent or something can pull off, hatching someone to death. I mean, it's not that hard. No history or rage.
It's actually pretty easy. I've done it a few times.
Yeah. And then lack of physical evidence connecting to the crime. But just on the blood thing, the theory for that I've seen brought up is we go back here, um, and you look at the coat that's underneath his head, the theory for the crime sort of thing, or the theory for how she would have done the crime without getting any blood on her is basically maybe she put the overcoat on backwards to hatchet him to death, and then folded the coat under his head, and then she would have only had to wash her face and hands. And then she could have done the same for Abby, or like I said, she had time to clean up, so she could have changed, which would have explained burning the other dress. And then you just have to assume that Emma was covering for her.
Uh-huh.
The other thing is Maggie being in the house this whole time has also led some people to suspect that she was in on the crime. There's also a rumor that she was carrying a parcel away from the estate days after the murder, and no one searched her. So maybe that parcel had the murder weapon. Maybe it had some things that got blood on them. We don't know. And that's basically it. So I guess time to discuss.
Yeah, I want to hear about. I want to hear about the.
Oh,
I want to hear about the dude man did it.
yeah.
Andrew's
So
brother.
the John Moore stuff is pretty circumstantial as well. There was some math teacher who came out with a book that was basically like, oh, accusing him of being the real killer. And he said he was the one who said in that book, he was the one who claimed that the alibi included talking to the town doctor, who was which doesn't make any sense because he was the town doctor that was viewing the bodies at the time of his alibi, or at least part of his alibi. So that's the one suspicious thing. He was also a butcher by trade, so his theory was that he used a cleaver to hack him to death. That's
Do
why.
the deed.
Yeah, that's why there was no blood on the hatchet head, and they never found a different weapon. Because if he did the murders then ran away, he would have taken his cleaver or whatever, and he had lots of reasons for there to be blood on a cleaver, so he could have easily just washed it off or whatever. And then he also knew about a potential will, even though it's my understanding that there wasn't a will. So I was kind of mixed up on that. But apparently, in her testimony, Lizzie Borden said that she hadn't heard about a will, but she maybe offhand heard about it years ago from John Morse, and that was basically the big things. But I don't think it's my personal opinion that it was Lizzie Borden. I don't think John Morse did it.
So they never determined a murder weapon.
Not 100%.
They never found it. Okay.
No, they did match the hatchet head to the skulls, but I mean that's basically just placing them in the skull, and I don't think that's very scientific. They also sent a hair found on the axe and the axe head to Harvard, and they soaked it for blood remnants, which there was none in the wood that was left from the handle, and the hair was bovine. So yeah, they don't really know if that even was the murder weapon, or if the murder weapon could have been in the shawl, or it could have been John Morris's cleaver.
So I think it was. They're not.
Or it could have been like an identical axe that like the head was supposed to be like the replacement for or something.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
what
one
is-
they found.
Sorry. So some other things that are coming up as questions are: why do they think he died at all? Was it this inheritance scheme? Is that the commonly accepted reason why he died?
Yeah, that's the motive, and I think it's a pretty strong motive because, like, if like he doesn't have a will, so if he, at least that's the thought of the children, is he doesn't have a will. So if that's the case, when he dies, it all goes to his widow. And then when she died, the lion's share would go to her kids, and they're unemployed. They rely completely on their dad's money. So like, it's kind of like their future's in jeopardy in a way. from their perspective.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mm. And I just don't see much of a motive for Morse. Like, even if he knew about a will, like as a brother-in-law, he probably wouldn't have been getting that much. And John's old anyway, or not John. Andrew's old anyway. He's probably, he's not gonna, even without murder, he's not gonna be kicking around for too much longer. It's 1892, and he's like 69. So yeah,
Nice.
And there's no chance it was someone completely unrelated due to the nature of the murder timings.
Yeah, there's two main things that kind of take away from that. Nothing was stolen or reported missing, and the fact that he would have had to murder Abby first, which wouldn't have even been his target.
And then
if it's just and then wait in the house for like at least half an hour, probably closer to an hour or more.
So,
yeah.
So is there a chance that it was Lizzie and Emma were both in on it? Emma was kind of helping her out.
Yeah, Emma helped her out in the trial by saying she's the one who told her to burn the dress. And then Maggie, it just seemed like if there's she was in or cleaning the windows of the house the entire time. So it just seems incredibly unlikely that she didn't see or hear anything. And if she's not implicating, Lizzie, it just feels like then she was in on it. Also, interesting to note, Maggie, soon after the trial, moves away to Canada and never comes back. So
kind of sounds like nobody liked Andrew or his wife.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, we hate you, Dad, and new mom.
Yeah.
Give me your money. Kinda.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think.
Yeah, that was my conclusion as well. That, like, I think what happened is Maggie and Maggie and Lizzie conspired together to kill her, and then Emma might have found out after the fact, or maybe didn't even find out, just helped her just because, like, she thought she was innocent or whatever, and then it's just like, oh, I'll just cover for the dress or whatever. But either way, I think they were all three in on it.
So if that was, what was their argument of who did do it if it wasn't them?
Well, that's the thing. The defense never even made an argument for that. All they had to do was poke holes in the prosecution's case, and that's all they really did. So there was never even really an alternate theory.
Well, yeah, then it was probably that when you've eliminated what's the phrase? When you've eliminated the impossible, then whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be true.
What happened? Yeah.
If it's incredibly unlikely, it's not impossible. It's incredibly unlikely that someone else, a third party, came in, murdered somebody upstairs, waited around, came down, did the exact same thing, and then dipped, and none of the two people outside saw.
Yeah.
And
another thing, which I don't know why. This is the only thing that pokes the hole in Maggie even being involved. I don't know why she would testify this, but she testified that when Andrew was coming home, usually there's 3 locks on the front door, and usually Lizzie only locked one so that Andrew could let himself back in, but she locked all 3 so that Maggie ended up having to help her in. And Maggie testified that she heard her on the stairs laughing as she was trying to fiddle with the lock and let Andrew in, which is doesn't look good for Lizzie for sure.
Now I think they're sociopaths who just didn't want to have to get real jobs.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Or maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe they just really didn't like Andrew.
Yeah, or Abby.
Maybe he smelled.
Yeah.
Truly the worst crime.
Mm.
To not have deodorant in 1892 or whatever this was.
It was also reported that it had gotten so bad
His smell,
in the Borden household that Abby or Lizzie stopped calling Abby Mom and instead called her Mrs. Borden.
Yeah, I think they just hated each other. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she probably.
I guess we're ready to call it. Lizzie Borden was a murderer. And we're coming for you, Lizzie.
And my gut check was correct. Thank you, creepy picture.
I know it's a hot take.
Oh, we might as well bring back hot takes for this. Ooh-wee.
This is a lot of fun. So this is like
Yeah.
why did this gain so much?
There isn't like another potential basically like all signs point to Lizzie,
Mhm.
except like there's some things that are like, well, I don't know, but
Yeah.
like nothing points to anyone else.
Yeah, the only weird thing was the fact that she had no blood on her, and I think the shout
That's
out
because
to
it was an inside job. I think they all helped each other.
Yeah, that too. But shout out to the Smith. I'm gonna link every source I used in the YouTube video. But shout out to the Smithsonian channel. There's like a show called The Curious Life and Death of, and that show was the show that I got that theory about the wearing the coat backwards in order to block most of the blood, and then just putting it under his head. So I think that was a really good theory to answer for why she didn't have blood on her. So shout out to that show. But yeah, that's basically all I had.
That was very interesting. So why is this? How did this become as well known or like as famous as it did? Is it because it's just well documented for the time, or
it was kind of like a trial of the century at the time? Like
it just became sensational.
Like it was so sensational because this sort of Protestant white small petite woman being arrested for these two gruesome murders. It was just like a huge trial at the time. Tons of people showed up, and
yeah, but the dude is also old as hell. I think she was certainly capable.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of the misogyny of the time is what made it sensationalized.
Mm-hmm. She
like,
couldn't have done
how small
that.
are we talking?
What
were her measurements?
Fuck. Oh, I didn't know this.
Or her specs. Her stats.
I think she was like.
Yeah.
I don't want to misspeak. I'm gonna try googling.
What's her dex, strength, and wisdom?
6'4", 220 pounds.
I want to say she was around 120, 130 pounds.
Linebacker for Notre Dame.
Let's see if it's as simple as Lizzie Borden weight.
You know what the funniest thing is? True crime freaks are so into this stuff that probably is a fact you can find out.
Yeah.
Yes, I called them freaks.
5'4" and 135 pounds. So
that's not like that's a smallish woman, but not like a tiny woman.
Yeah.
That's a woman who could probably take out a sleeping 69-year-old man.
Yeah. And a bent
with
over,
a weapon.
And a bent over 64-year-old woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're ready to convict
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Axe does so much of the work for you.
Where's the gavel?
If she really did use an axe.
Yeah.
Guilty of murder and hiding it? I don't know the proper term. Lying under oath, maybe?
Perjury?
Yeah, that.
Tampering with evidence?
Oh, that's a big one, yeah.
Something about interfering a police investigation or whatever?
Yeah.
He's going away for
mainly that murder one.
I was gonna say, can you catch someone on covering up their own evidence trail on those things?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I'm fairly confident you can.
It makes sense, but like also it like I've never ever like
hear of it.
Heard it used in that like kind of context. Like I've never heard of anyone get charged with murder and also covering up the murder that they did.
Yeah.
It's like a footnote, probably.
Yeah, it's like most people are concerned with like, convicted on the murder charge. Yeah.
The murder part.
Yeah. It would have been funny if someone like, there's not enough evidence to convict you of murder, but you definitely covered this shit up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I feel like that's definitely happened. Right?
Yeah, it's like they tampered with it enough to where they could no longer prove it was them or something like that, but
but they
still janked it up on purpose.
Yeah,
to obscure that fact.
And a lot of times, if they can't get you on murder, then they just they just push it down to like
They
second
just fucking
degree.
shoot you.
No, like second degree murder, third degree murder, manslaughter, whatever.
Yeah.
Reckless
So-
endangerment or whatever. I don't
Reckless endangerment with a cleaver.
know. Yeah. You endangered this person's life when you swung an axe at their head, you monster.
And then you did it 11 more times. That might bump it up to man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's manslaughter. I mean,
That's
you
manslaughter.
couldn't know that they were gonna die, but
I didn't know there was a man
come
under this
on.
code.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, God. That was really interesting, though. Thank you for
Thank you, I
sharing.
appreciate it. Yeah. I do have to pee really quick. I hope that's okay.
That is okay. And
Riff
we're going to
really-
talk about things that are completely normal and not weird. Isn't that right, RJ?
Oh yeah. Okay,
What?
I'll be right back.
George is
We're gonna talk about
George is-
anime, so no.
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you going next or am I going next?
Up to you.
I can go last because we
What's your thing?
could do a quiz to kind of
Yeah,
at the end,
quiz
like a
to round
Sporkle
it
quiz
out.
at the end of mine, because I'm doing some. Well, I can give a sneak peek. I'm gonna have you. Well, I can explain the rules later, but basically, it's gonna be about international food, and I do want to do that. George has been talking up his flag knowledge. I want to do the like country flag quiz and see how many we can do. But it should
Uh-huh.
probably.
But we'll do it together. So
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it
half-rate
together,
with
so we
George.
don't feel bad about ourselves, and also because we didn't set it up to have
Yeah.
all our screens showing to compete,
Yeah.
because I didn't consider that. But yeah, we should definitely do the whatchamacallit, country flag quiz, because I know none of them.
Yeah, it'll be essentially George teaching us what the flags to various countries are.
Yes. So I might as well pull that up now.
God, I hate not being able to just like look up things when I'm curious, because like now I'm like, well, I can't like look up country flags now because now we might be quizzing on it.
Ah,
That'd
yes,
be
flags of the world.
unfair.
That would be it.
I mean, you can look that up because I like have such an unfair advantage in that.
Well, we'd be doing it together.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
AKA,
we
You'd be
discussed.
essentially teaching us flags
I can probably get the U.S.
as.
That's one.
I feel like what we have to do when we do it, we have to like Ryobi and I make a guess, and then George makes a guess,
Yeah, George has to.
Last.
We have to see if
George
you and I
has to
can puzzle
guess
it out
last.
first.
because
Yeah.
otherwise I'll just agree with George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh
I'll
yeah,
just be
I
like,
knew that.
Yeah,
was,
whatever George said is probably right.
I knew that was
Yeah.
Tanzania, of course.
Right. Oh yeah, that one's
Fuck.
definitely the North Pole flag for sure.
All right, so I'll go back to the main view here. RJ, take us away to.
To be honest, I don't have a lot prepped.
Well,
you're a
we're
coward.
going. We have a number of topics to discuss
Yeah.
about Spy X Family.
That's true. Speaking of Spy X Family, is it Spy X Family or is it Spy Family? Because
It's probably
I've heard,
Spy Family because it's Hunter
I've
Hunter
heard
and not
people
Hunter
say
X Hunter, but I
Hunter-
always call it
yeah,
Hunter
it's
X Hunter because I'm a
not Hunter X
dumbass.
Hunter.
That
But
was-
why
I
put
thought
the
it-
X in it if you don't
thought-
say the X?
I thought it was Spy and Family.
It's meant that's what that X accomplishes, the meaning of and.
Yeah.
But
But
like
you
I
don't
said,
say
I
it?
see X. Monkey brain says X in head and out loud.
Yeah.
Simple.
Interesting.
I started
I
just
guess
skipping
all-
it because people say Hunter X Hunter is supposed to be said Hunter Hunter.
It is, yes.
That
But if I
sounds
see
so
it written
dumb.
out, it's always Spy
It does sound
X
so
Family.
dumb.
It's not, it's nobody writes Hunter Hunter without the X in between it.
Yeah. Also, Hunter and Hunter would be better.
Yeah.
I
like a
disagree.
law
I disagree.
firm.
I think Hunter Hunter is better than Hunter and
Hunter
Hunter.
and Hunter.
Hunter and
Sounds
Hunter?
like that sounds like two
Hunter
people
and
named.
Hunter Real Estate.
Wait, the show isn't about two people named Hunter
No,
who like go to a
They're-
bunch of frat parties?
they're professions. Yeah, professional partygoers.
Professional.
It's
It's
party-
actually just
anime.
Wedding Crash.
Fucking-
It's Wedding Crashers, the
honestly,
anime.
I would fucking, I would watch that anime.
Yeah. This is why we need to get on some of these storyboards.
I mean, none of us can animate or draw.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're like the writers
Or
are
write.
the ones that do the animation, right?
Yeah.
What? I have no idea how these
Have
shows
to
are
become
made.
writers.
Yeah, neither do I.
Actually, we have we have to write manga first.
Oh yeah, because it has to get picked up by a
90%
studio.
of animes,
Yeah.
they're just like, "What's a popular manga?" And we'll just make that. We'll just animate it.
Ah, okay. So what's the name of our? It can't be Hunter x Hunter because that's taken. Is it gonna be Frat X Chad? I don't know.
Chad X
Brad?
Brad and Chad.
Chad X Brad.
Oh yeah.
But you say the X in ours.
All right, what's the opening song for this show?
It's Brad.
For
It's Chad.
No,
I think for Chad X Brad,
we have to pick
it's
up popular.
it's probably just like whatever is like the most poppin' club beat at the time or whatever.
It's Get Low by Little John. That's not probably as popular as it used to be, but that's what comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
You know what? That works. Just make it that.
Yeah, I haven't been to a club in like 3 years, so I don't know what's playing there nowadays.
Nothing different. It's about the same.
Nothing. They just don't play anything anymore.
No, yeah, it's a dead
It's all
silent. It's like a library.
Yeah.
They
Silent
just
dance
It's-
floor.
they just all
it's-
read while standing up and drinking.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Oh shit! Fuck!
It's
Maybe,
lit.
could we go to a club actually?
Let's go, boy.
Let's go.
Library club.
It's like a library where you can't sit down.
But you do get to
You
drink,
have to bring your own book. But you do get to drink.
which doesn't really makes it kind of hard to read and hold a book with one hand. But you know, you make it work.
At some of the clubs now, they just
Ah
play like.
shit! I spilled again.
At some of the clubs, they just play like an audiobook over like that.
DJ, play chapter 5 of The Sorcerer's Stone.
Harry looked around inquisitively.
All right, everyone, get ready for chapter 5.
Woo! Diagon Alley! Fuck yeah.
All right. So Spy X Family.
Oh yeah, that's what we're actually talking
about. Every couple of lines, you hear at least like 5 people go like, "Oh my god, this is like my favorite part."
Wait for the drop. Wait for the drop.
And it never comes.
Harry gets handed his wand for the first time. Ah! The crowd goes wild.
Ah!
Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, yeah.
That
Spy
takes
Family.
the
Spy
audio.
Family.
Spy Family.
Great audio.
The thing.
So this Twilight guy is kind of hot, no?
I mean,
Yes, true.
yeah.
Wait, okay. Best character.
Best
line.
it's Anya.
Wrong. It's
Ugh,
Bill
Anya
Watkins.
By a fucking mile.
It's Bill Watkins, and there's no
Anya's
contest.
the worst character.
Bill Watkins is also fantastic, but Anya's the best. What do you mean?
I don't know. I just found her a little annoying.
Bill Watkins
Maybe
stole
it's
the
because you
show
watched the dub,
and my heart.
idiot.
Oh yeah, how was the dub?
Oh, dub was great. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. no,
I've
it
seen
wasn't.
bits of the dub, and the dub is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Dub-
any of
yeah,
the
it wasn't-
characters' voices sound like they don't fit?
Nah, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I would say, Anya's voice actress does come off a little bit more annoying in the dub,
Yeah, she was real annoying.
and Twilight is
Still sexy, yes.
like good, but not great.
I thought Twilight was.
But yours
better
actress
voice
is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the dub, so I'll just take your word for it.
I've seen parts of the dub. I specifically looked up. I specifically watched the part in episode 1 where he buys the apartment because George said the guy who sold them the apartment sounded like Mike Trapp. And he does.
Yeah.
And
You think it was just an uncredited part?
neither of us can find any kind of like confirmation.
That's probably the truth then.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like him. So,
if you could be given an uncredited part in a show, in an anime, what anime would you pick?
What anime
would I pick?
I guess it'd have to be a season that hasn't aired yet of a show, possibly, that you do like.
Yeah.
I don't know why I asked this question when I don't have an answer for myself.
Also, I don't know any.
So, currently airing anime. So, essentially, what is my favorite currently airing anime? Or like,
yeah, something that's going to get another. I want to be in JoJo. That's what I want to be in.
Something that's getting another season is Haikyuu.
Somebody on an opposing team.
I assume Haikyuu is going to get another season.
That'd be cool.
The dub is at least still being produced.
Yeah, 4 and 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to be in
Haikyuu
JoJo.
Is really, really good.
They're just so cool. And there's a bunch of fucking throwaway. There's a bunch of fucking throwaway characters too. They're all just weird as hell designs.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Just be in JoJo because then you get to be a fucking weirdo.
Okay.
In Haikyuu, you just be like high schooler number like 976.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm sure if you were on an opposing team, you'd get at least some lines. Maybe you'd have some weird attribute that they'd have to overcome. But anyway, Spy Family. Twilight's cool. Yor didn't seem to have as major a role as I thought she would. I thought it would mostly be about Yor and Twilight, and it was really about Twilight and Anya, which I didn't dislike, but I thought Yor would do more.
Anya absolutely carries the show for me.
She does make this. Sorry, go ahead, George.
I just thought I mean, I'm kind of. I'm not exactly the key, like how do I want to say this?
Biggest anime experienced.
Yeah, I'm not like
most seasoned veteran. Yeah,
anime fan in general, but it felt kind of slow to me as a show.
Yeah, I think, like I especially if you don't like Anya, it's like
yeah.
I feel like the whole point of the show is watch Anya be cute.
Anya
at least that's my takeaway of it. Like every time it goes back to like, let's see what Lloyd's doing, I'm like, I could not give a shit. I do not care. He's doing serious stuff in a comedy anime. I could not care less.
For me, it was Lloyd that carried the show. Like the only interesting scene,
the only intelligent character.
Yeah, was when he was doing like thoughtful shit.
I kind of like the Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff that they do to like. It's like, oh, I figured out that like Yor's brother is like a member of the secret police or something in like 30 seconds, and they go through. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you figured that out. I wonder how this is gonna play out. And then like
he gets drunk.
Go into this. Yeah, they go into the scene with him, and he's just a blubbering idiot. And I'm like, okay. Like
George wanted drama, and he got slapstick comedy.
Yeah. Very.
Not even slapstick. It lacks physical comedy.
No, there's some physical comedy.
Yor literally punched him twice.
Yeah.
That's true.
In that scene, anyway. Yeah.
And then he's like smashing his head into the locker in the scene after, and the guy's like,
I fucking love the scene.
I see, self-inflicted or whatever.
I love when you first see Bill Watkins, and he looks like a 30-year-old man. and then he had this fucking super deep voice.
Yeah.
And then you see him run to his dad.
He's like, Daddy, and hugs him around the knees. And he's like, oh my god. His dad is giant.
Yeah.
That was probably
Daddy!
that scene where he's like daddy and like hugs his dad, and I'm like that made me laugh the hardest. Probably that scene made me laugh the hardest out of the whole show. The second part I laughed the most at.
Scene.
The second part
That's the funniest scene in the show.
The second funniest scene for me was actually in the first episode when I forget who's the names of the guys, but like I guess were they just like members of like anti-spies? I don't know. They were trying to find Twilight and they kidnapped Anya, and then they're just like talking to like the boss or whatever, and they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be like, one of the guys is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be focusing on trying to like defame your political opponent by going on and on about how he has a toupee. And then he just walks up and shoots him with a pistol in the head, apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was pretty funny.
Oh. I also like the headmaster who insists on everything being elegant.
Eleganto, brillianto. Yeah. He's pretty good.
I feel like I don't know. I felt like he was like almost like too over the top. Like
impossible.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole show was too over the top, but
yeah, the whole show is really over the top. I think my next funniest moment after Bill Watkins hugging his dad is when the zookeepers like find the rookie that Twilight replaced, and they're like, you must be the leader of the penguin exhibit now. And the guy's like, fucking what? Why? What?
Yeah. Oh.
That's pretty good. Penguins are cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how they didn't really go into detail on how he got that thing out of the penguin. I guess he just made it like cough it up, but it's like maybe you could get like Anya's like tiny arm into the penguin, but I guess he just kind of did it on his own. Or Twilight, he's so overworked.
And I like the telepath angle, but I felt like they went into people's thoughts a little too much.
And then she does make the exact same face shocked face every time she reads somebody's thoughts. I'm like, Anya, you can't keep getting surprised by this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other funniest bit is just Anya's face.
Yeah, Anya's has good faces. Her smug smile.
The fucking smile. The fucking smile. I
That's
love
a
the
meme.
smile.
Her best scene was probably her punching Damien. Or maybe not best scene, but one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
Just winds up. Good stuff. Yeah, I didn't really know how far they were going to get. Well, I guess they're going to do a second half of this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point.
The last episode felt like it was supposed to be the first episode of the second half
of like another arc. Yeah.
Yeah, of like another arc. It had like all this like catch up material in it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it didn't have the dog that they teased in the immediately previous
what about
episode.
That? The dog that can see to the future or something.
That felt out of order.
I was like, wait a minute.
I don't even remember that.
Anya wants a dog because she.
Oh yeah. That was like the last episode.
Got her grades up or something, or got into the school.
Second to last episode. That might be the last episode that's dubbed.
Or was it because she saved that kid's life? Why does she get a dog?
Because she saved the kid's life.
Okay, that makes more
because she
sense.
saved the kid's life.
Is the sub on episode 12?
Yeah.
Because the dub was on episode 12. Yeah, so I got the same episode. It must be the second to last episode.
But yeah, they had a brief scene like somewhere in there where it's like dogs in a shelter, and I think it's alluded to like they were also being tested on, kind of like Anya was. So they might have powers and stuff. And then like the dog has like a vision possibly of the future of like the three of them, like Anya, Yor, and Lloyd. But yeah, I thought they would actually introduce the dog in these 12 episodes, and I'm like, oh nope, gotta wait for that.
So what was the 12th? Was that the penguin one?
I forget. Because I don't think the dog one was on the last episode. I think it was probably like 11 or something.
The 12th, I think the 12th might have been the penguin one. I'm not sure.
Okay, guess that makes sense. Where he's like, oh, I'm gonna ask for more time off. No, I've gotta protect the world so kids can play.
Yeah, like why did they not have more agents. They clearly had a crap
They
ton.
have tons of agents.
They're just
It's
all
that
incompetent,
Every
apparently.
single one other than Twilight is incredibly incompetent.
Yeah.
What was the name of
Also,
his friend?
I feel like Twilight, with Twilight's ability to impersonate people, he could just get into the school like without like raising a child.
Yeah.
And then he literally got hired as like a server or something without a disguise on.
Yeah.
He also does a
They
bunch
don't-
of spy shit. He also does a bunch of spy shit in the outfit he wears, like publicly as Lloyd Forger.
Yeah, in his like
Yeah.
suit and stuff, climbing on roofs, and just I guess hoping no one sees him.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're gonna go with the second half. I guess the dog would be the logical next thing to introduce.
Yeah. And it'll just be her like collecting her stars.
Yeah, I guess is that supposed to form the bulk? I haven't read the manga. Is that supposed to form like the bulk of the show? I guess
I assume
it's
so.
all leading up to like meeting this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it took her
I
ages.
mean, I
for
would
that
assume
first-
Yeah,
so,
one.
like-
Yeah.
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 I mean, I imagine it's going to be like,
It's gonna
Uh,
accelerate.
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna accelerate. It'll either accelerate or just be like one of those like essentially unending anime. But I imagine it'll probably accelerate. This doesn't feel like because
An
most of
unending.
those unending anime are like the like classic like shonen style like
Yeah.
like fighting beat 'em up stuff
Yeah.
where they just like fight a new bad guy
every time.
like every season.
Oh my
Where it's
god.
like
like DBZ.
Don't get me started.
yeah,
Wait, do you guys watch My Hero?
Nope.
yeah.
Okay.
I've seen all.
My
I've
hero
seen
has
exact-
really my hero has really dropped off in quality in my opinion.
I just got around to
season
watching
one-
season 5.
Season 1 was pretty good, and like I feel like it just gets like it just gets more generic as time goes on.
I still think the universe and the characters are cool. But like I just didn't, for some reason, I just didn't get the season 5 came out like over a year ago. I just now got around to watching it. Like I don't know, the drive
Yeah.
just kind of was lost for me. And then I don't know if I'm going to go into this because this is not the show we're supposed to be talking about, but basically they left the door open for him to get a crap ton of new powers, and I'm like, okay, I think he's plenty strong. I think he's plenty strong enough with what he has already. Like I don't know why they need to go.
Talia
Yeah.
reads the manga, and they're like 2 seasons out from the end. I think something like
2
that.
seasons of the show.
Yeah, like 2 seasons of the show
Oh.
from the end.
Dang.
Maybe more. Maybe like one more. But
'cause
like they're
It's
they're,
been 5,
like,
and he's only like whatever, like 20% of the way there. So he better
yeah,
hurry the hell up.
Like it really felt like this is the story of how I become the like I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those essentially never ending ones.
It better have
And
an
it's
end.
like, no, apparently the manga is about to end.
Maybe he
it's
just
like-
doesn't succeed.
Yeah. Maybe he fucking dies.
Maybe he dies. All
yeah,
right.
I've seen exactly 2 anime shows and 1 anime movie.
Yeah, so
And-
coming
and one of the
into
shows
this,
is-
George's only other show
What's
he's
the
seen, I
movie?
believe, was Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, the movies that like what the fuck's the movie called? Spirited Away. That's it.
Yeah,
Spirited
so
Away.
you watched
Ah,
2 of
I
like
have
the
not seen
highest
Spirited
rated
Away.
pieces of content.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
And
FMA.
then and Spy Family is fine, but I don't
Yeah.
know if it's going to win awards, especially when compared
Yeah.
with those 2 things.
Yeah, like FMA was leagues more enjoyable to me than
Hmm.
Spy Family. But I still
Spy
thought
Family.
Spy Family was
I like
fun.
Spy Family.
Like I'd keep watching.
it's
it,
like
but it's not like
a
it
7
didn't
for
really.
me.
Yeah, that's
Out of 10.
That's right around where I.
I don't know if I would probably not rewatch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't rewatch it, but I'd watch like new episodes when they came out.
Hmm.
I was just say I wouldn't rewatch it, but I don't rewatch anything.
I also don't
So-
rewatch anything
I rewatch
except
constantly.
Toradora.
I rewatch. Well, I rewatch almost exclusively sitcoms though.
Oh no.
Toradora is good.
Torador's lit.
I'm-
All right, but anyway.
I'll make you guys watch like the first season of all my favorite sitcoms.
No.
George, you. I will say, George, you do get to pick next.
Oh yeah.
I'll say.
And it'll be a sitcom.
No.
Probably Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because that show is amazeballs. Love that show.
I'm sure it's good, but it is long.
I didn't say
I'm not.
good. I just
I'm
said
sure
first
it's bad.
season.
You said
I just said first season.
how long is it? How long is the season?
20 episodes.
How long are the episodes?
How long is an episode?
Like 20 minutes.
That's fine.
Huh. I don't have a lot of time. Like, I don't have a lot of time to watch something that I'm not watching with, like Talia.
But you can put it on in the background. Because it's not like a it's not
Yeah,
a sub where you have to read.
Also, we can do it like
That's true.
we don't have to do this like share opinions on a show every episode. So we could.
Oh
do it,
yeah, we
like,
could just give
4
it
weeks
more
from now,
lead time.
6 weeks from now, So.
All right, so I get to pick. When I pick a show, I'm gonna pick something really tedious, like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Not even Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball.
Good.
That's a joke. Please don't. Watch
I've heard that Dragon Ball is the best.
Dragon Ball's better than Z and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm sure it's fine.
Like everything post Dragon Ball
It's just
Z
wicked long.
is essentially just endless fighting.
Yes, but that's what Dragon Ball's always been about. So if
Dragon Ball,
you know that going in,
kind of has a plot.
Yeah, and stakes, understandable stakes.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's the thing. Stakes.
I don't hate you guys.
Stakes that are like when like someone like freezes like, oh, I'm gonna blow up the Earth or something. It's like,
oh
well,
shit,
the writers aren't actually going to like let that happen. So
you don't know.
Clearly, the stakes aren't real.
Blew up Namek. Spoilers.
Yeah, the writers could potentially let that happen and then just
and then you wish the Earth back with the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
What do they still work if Earth doesn't work? I don't actually know.
Well, there's different Dragon Balls for each planet, so you could just go to like Namek and get
Yeah, dude.
God, it's like you don't even.
I always assumed that there were like whatever, however many Dragon Balls.
8.
Just period. Like 8 Dragon Balls in the known universe.
I don't know if they're on every planet, but Namek and Earth.
Yeah, at least Namek and Earth have their. Because I remember in one of the video games, they're like, "Oh, we can't get the Earth Dragon Balls."
Is it the same Dragon's Balls?
No.
Or like
no, a different Dragon.
The Namek Dragon Balls are a lot bigger. They're like bowling ball size.
He's got
RJ, you're 12. All right. Are we? I guess does that conclude our Spy Family segment? Spy X Family.
Dragon Balls, yeah.
It concludes our Dragon Ball segment.
We got 30 minutes to do whatever your garbage is.
Heck yeah, dude. So I've prepared a small game. And I'm going to hide George's and show mine. Aha! Oh, I didn't consider our...
Are you linking? Do I have to like look at the stream?
Yes.
Ugh.
I could try streaming it to... Well, I can't stream it. I could stream it to Discord? How are you planning on viewing this? How did you view George's?
He just used my
I clicked
link.
on his link.
Ah.
So you could do Discord or that link sharing thing, or you could just watch the stream if you don't think delay is a big deal.
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
I can
I'm
make a
on the
link.
stream.
You're on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see. I
Okay,
can't hear, but I can see.
Okay, there's no audio. Just me. Yeah. How well do you think you know food? Based on just how worldly do you think you are when it comes to your eating experiences?
Not at all.
Not at all.
30%.
30%.
I was gonna say we have another viewer.
I feel like I've
just
had a lot of different. I've had a lot of different kinds of foods, and a lot of things, but also like don't like remember like the names of dishes or like
Perfect. So you'll
have
suck at
any
this.
clear idea of like
What you're eating.
their origin.
Great. Good way to be.
Also, it's just it's all like, well, you know, depending on the authenticity, it's mostly like anything we have.
Yeah,
is,
it's
like,
mostly
it's
Americanized.
Americanized versions.
Yeah. And we
Okay,
don't.
so-
It's not like we travel all the time.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of going in the theme of that, I tried to pick somewhat iconic dishes from a number of countries
Okay.
to lay the groundwork.
I can identify falafel.
I have
falafel one of
personally
them?
eaten all of these except one of them, and I've seen all of them sold in the U.S.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you live in a big city.
Yeah.
Big city
shit.
boy.
I'm pretty sure you've at least heard of, if not, maybe not ordered
Also,
for yourself in a restaurant, but probably seen most of these on a menu.
Also, I lived in LA for like 2 years.
Yeah,
so.
George definitely has.
Yeah, but
Okay.
George is a
George what? Say it.
George has a narrow palate.
Yeah.
Does he? Well, he does eat McDonald's like on the reg, so yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Okay, spoiler. McDonald's is not on here.
Sponsored by McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay. So
like,
basically,
I consider myself to have a pretty wide palate, but I would not consider myself to be knowledgeable.
not a deep palate.
Yeah.
Shallow pool, but big pool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. When I go to it's a X restaurant, I probably recognize one dish on that menu, and I'm like, oh, I like this because I had it once. I'm going to get this, and then I don't go to places like that often enough to try other things. So every time I go there, I'm like, oh yeah, might as well get the thing I know I like.
Mm-hmm.
I almost never go to like I would like to go to new places, but like there's just not a lot around me to go to.
Yeah.
And when I go somewhere, I almost always like unless I have a good idea of basically what the whole menu is like, I like to try a new thing that I've never had before from that place.
I respect that. It's very adventurous of you. I do not do this thing.
I do that with certain restaurants, but then certain restaurants I get the same thing every time. So it kind of depends.
Yeah.
Depends if I like sushi, I'll get a new thing pretty much. Well, it's
really?
No, even sushi, it depends. Like, because I like basically everything that's in sushi, even the thing I hate, which is in sushi, which is cucumber, is okay in sushi, as long as it's
tiny.
not like overwhelmingly cucumber. Because I've had some places there where it's like half the roll is cucumber, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I like cucumber, and that's way too much.
Yeah. Like, no.
It doesn't even have it's just filler. Literally just filler.
Oh,
actually
it's got crisp. It's got like absolutely the wrong kind of crisp for sushi. I feel like
I like
it's
the
not
crisp
fried.
I just don't like the taste.
Mm.
Like I taste a distinct flavor with. I mean, every palate is a little different, but I just taste a distinct flavor with cucumber.
No, cucumber has a flavor. For me, it's more like the texture.
Yeah, cucumber has a flavor.
Yeah.
I would not eat cucumber straight up.
Yeah, neither would I. My April would, but I would.
Even like with a dip or something. It's cold. It's too watery.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I'd rather eat something else.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm the same way with carrots for different reasons, but I would
carrots taste much better than cucumbers, but that's just me. Okay.
Carrots are the best vegetable raw.
All right, we need to do we'll do a vegetable tier list at a later time.
There's not a vegetable
clearly we have feelings on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, I tried to pick. I didn't pick something as I didn't pick like a singular item. I tried to pick dishes. So like you're not going to see cucumber on this list, even if it's like something like pineapple, which is pretty regional. So you're going to see a description with the description from Wikipedia of this dish with the name and any like locations omitted, and then you're going to try to see if you know what the food is. That's probably not going to be enough. So I'd be surprised if you got it without that. And then I'll give you the country of origin, and you can try to guess what the dish is. I'm not really limiting you to like one guess per either. It's kind of like go until you think you can't, you have no idea, and then we'll just go to the next hint. And then I'm going to give a photo, and then if you recognize the photo, that'll probably do something for you guys. And then we'll go over the answer after that.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely do something for me. Make me hungry.
Okay, so this first one,
horny.
This first one's pretty easy. All right, I really hope I set up the animations on this correctly. So I'm going to read it.
Are we both watching the stream, George?
I'm going to read it for you, just because this is also a podcast.
That's why there's 3 viewers.
Blank are pasta originally from the blank region. Traditionally, they are stuffed with a mix of meat, pork loin, raw prosciutto, mortadella, parmigiano reggiano cheese. I probably said that wrong. Egg and nutmeg. In the area of origin, they are usually sold fresh or homemade. Industrially packaged, dried, refrigerated, or frozen.
Ravioli.
This food appear in many locations around the world, especially where there are large blank communities. So it is.
I assume it's not ravioli then? Dumplings. It's dumplings.
Yeah. I imagine this is dumplings.
I didn't actually consider.
Is dumpling a pasta?
No, it's like I don't think
dumpling might be kind of a pasta.
I don't think it's considered a pasta though. But I guess
I don't know.
If you were about to say.
I'm gonna say it's not. It's not a dumpling because I don't know if a dumpling is a pasta because I didn't research it.
Is it? Was it ravioli or no?
It is not ravioli, but you are on the right track. What makes you think? What makes you think it is?
Because it's
tortellini. Because it's the other ravioli. It's different shaped ravioli.
Interesting. I couldn't think of the other one that was stuffed.
Tortellini. I much prefer tortellini to ravioli.
I like both. I don't think they taste like when I've had them. They're
served differently too.
They usually are stuffed with different things, so it's kind of like apples to oranges. But I usually have cheese stuffed either direction. Yeah, that's true. But like I've had bad tortellini and I've had bad ravioli and I've had great tortellini and I've had great ravioli. So I don't have a huge preference between the two, but tortellini is great. I love tortellini.
Yeah, I've had, I would say the average of both. I prefer tortellini at the average of both. Just like the noodle to stuffing ratio is more pleasurable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm not in the because ravioli can be a lot bigger, right? Than you find tortellini to be.
But I have a huge mouth, so I like big foods.
Do you eat big ravioli?
The bigger the ravioli, the less pasta you're getting.
Do you even chew?
Pasta slut.
I have a food story.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a very short story, but once at a state, what are they called? State fair. I ate an elephant ear in one bite.
I don't know what that is.
And what the fuck?
Yeah, an elephant.
Are you kidding me?
It's like a giant pastry with like powdered sugar and cinnamon and stuff on it. Usually,
is this like fried dough?
It's just
it's
like a funnel. It's like a funnel cake, but thicker.
Yeah, a thicker funnel cake.
What? Okay. Why? How big is big?
Have you never had a funnel cake?
It's like this big.
Like at least the size of like a whole plate.
So how did you eat it in one bite?
Usually bigger than a plate.
I balled it up as hard as I could, and then I just stuck it in my mouth.
How long did that take you to chew?
A long time.
You probably just dissolved it over time.
That sounds like that sounds like the least pleasant way to consume an elephant ear.
Well, someone bet me that I couldn't eat it in one bite, and I was like, I could totally eat this in one bite. What are you talking about? And then
it's not eating in one bite. It's can I fit this in my mouth?
Yeah,
I think it's a bit. I guess you did.
That's a food.
Did they rule you won the bet?
Compared to the food bet,
I won the bet. Of course.
Compared to the food that you say, of course, that you won a food bet. You remember the food bet you made with me?
Close to that one. That one. I still think we could do a redo. I just needed some training.
There's no fucking way.
As long as it doesn't involve eating more animals, small animals, living animals.
Yeah, so far I'm 2 for 3 on food bets. I could eat the slug. I could eat the elephant ear in one bite. So I was on an undefeated streak, and I bet RJ that I could eat a gallon of pudding in one sitting.
You did not. Wait, where can you even order a gallon of pudding?
You couldn't.
We got a lot of packs of pudding.
What a fucking waste!
Them into a gallon container.
Ugh. You just spoon it onto a bowl?
No, it was a picture that marked the gallon.
I think a quarter gallon. I think he ate a quarter
It was
gallon.
a third. It was a
Oh
third.
my
A third,
God.
a
Disservice
third,
and
and then stopped,
dishonor.
and then gave up.
And then
in.
shat lava, probably.
I don't remember.
He might have been able to eat a half gallon. If he was most of the way there, he might have been able to push himself to a half gallon. But with more than you had already eaten still ahead of you.
Oh my God.
No way.
Yeah.
George, I think
Yeah,
that was
that
more
was
just you not knowing how big a gallon is when you
Well,
accepted
it's just
that
like-
when you accepted that bet.
It's like a gallon of milk. You see that, and I'm like, if that's pudding, I could eat that. But I was wrong.
George, if it's water, you can barely get it down.
Yeah, but water is just thinner pudding.
It takes up the same amount. It's a volume. A gallon is a unit of volume. You
Yeah.
dumb motherfucker. It takes up the same amount of space
But I mean,
and
it's
is
like
thicker.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just thinner water with sugar in it. That's all.
Pudding is not thinner than water.
No, sorry, thicker water.
Yes.
Water is thinner pudding.
Wait, so George, tell me, do you think now knowing what you know now, could you drink a gallon of water in one sitting?
Oh, definitely. 100%. 100%. I could do that. We can do that next episode.
See, like that's a hard. I think you could. There's like a 50% shot. I think you could do it.
I could do it in the next podcast, like just as a side
Yeah, I guess you have a webcam, but it's like, do you know how big a gallon is still?
What are the rules of this?
One sitting.
one sitting.
Yeah, one sitting. I guess like he has to finish by the time the podcast ends.
It's more like he's not allowed to pee until he's done.
Yeah.
No
I could
breaks.
also do that. I could definitely do that as well.
Yeah,
No
he has
pee
to
breaks.
finish before the podcast ends and not pee.
All right. Next podcast.
No, I mean,
Dom.
I think I'd even be willing to give him like another, like maybe like 3 hours or something. I don't know. Maybe
No,
I'm
I don't
overestimating
need
how
that.
big a gallon is. I think given enough time, you could maybe do it with water.
I can do it during the podcast
Yeah.
with no pee breaks. That's the
Like-
bet.
I don't know.
Next episode.
God.
Tune in here, folks.
George fucking tortures himself with.
Oh yeah.
Watch George rupture his fucking stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look
Throw
up
him
how
on
much
hydro,
stuff-
homies.
How much can the human
Oh, now he's googling.
Stomach. hold? Because I'm pretty sure we can hold like.
How much volume can your stomach hold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
I don't care about
again.
food.
Yeah, but like there's other stuff in there at the same time. It's not empty.
No. Well, I just got to make sure it's empty.
I need to make sure this isn't going to like harm you in any way.
The human stomach can hold about 32 ounces of liquid. 32 ounces in gallon.
God, the fucking imperial system. I have no idea how much 32 ounces is.
Apparently, this human stomach can only hold 0.25 gallons of liquid. That seems conservative.
That does seem conservative.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever.
You ate at least that much pudding.
I think Joey Chestnut is probably
You claim more.
not on that same level, but I'm sure you are closer to that number than you are to Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut is the hot dog man, in case anyone doesn't know.
Joey Chestnut
Oh,
is a fucking beast.
this other source is saying exactly one gallon. So it's saying 4 liters, which is very close to a gallon. So
you could probably do it, George.
yeah. So we'll see you next podcast.
All right,
anyway.
George, you have to do your segment first because you may not make it to the end.
Yeah, you might have to go to the
You might
hospital.
die.
And what an epic way to go.
Or
out.
just like not be
Right,
Not
able
epic,
to talk
really stupid.
because your mouth is full of water and your throat is full of water
Oh yeah.
and all parts of your body are full of water. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next slide here. This
Do
is
we
a
have
good
any
tangent, though.
doctors in chat?
No. And I'd be concerned if there were. What are you doing here? Don't you have something more important to do? All right, question 2. Once again, I'm going to read it. And a blank is a traditional blank dish made of masa, a dough made from nixtamalized corn, which is steamed in a corn husk or banana leaf. The wrapping can either be discarded prior to eating or used as a plate. Blank can be filled with
Is this
meats,
a
cheeses,
tamale?
fruits, vegetables, herbs, chilies, or any preparations according to taste. And both the filling and the cooking liquid may be seasons. RJ, what'd you say?
Is this a tamale?
It sure is. Damn. Maybe that.
Yeah, that's
maybe
one
that was.
thing.
Maybe
That's
that was
one
the easy
thing
one.
we have out here is Mexican food.
Yes. So
I
this
was-
is.
I was
like,
busy.
the corn husk.
I was busy typing in chat, so I didn't read. I didn't. Hear
I
any
am
of that,
doctor.
but-
You're not a doctor, George. You can't give your own. You can't give yourself medical advice.
Says who?
Me,
Thanks
also
a lot,
not a
Obama.
doctor, but I do have glasses and a lab coat,
Me,
so
it's
that
in my
gives me
chat rules.
that gives me
Yeah.
more weight than you.
I see.
Oh wait, you have
Well,
glasses, but you don't have a lab coat. Lab coat wins though.
yeah,
But yes,
that makes
RJ,
sense.
this is in fact a tamale. Have you had a tamale?
Yay! Yeah, I've had a tamale.
What do you think of them?
I would, meh. Honestly, not great. Not
Really?
great.
I like chimichangas.
I think quesadillas are quesadillas or fajitas are like the kind of like premium.
Okay, well,
The
not
premium for
you're,
Mexican
so you're saying
food.
that other Mexican food is better, or you like it, or you just prefer other Mexican food if given having
Yeah,
Mexican food.
like
How would you rate it?
I would rate tamales directly against other Mexican food, and I would rate it fairly low on that table.
If you could separate it in your mind,
Yeah,
like if you saw tamales at like a food truck, how much would you be willing to spend on them?
I don't know. I
Trust
feel
food
like it.
trucks. And I lived in LA.
Really?
And yeah,
Food
I
trucks are
never
great.
had.
They're really expensive, but
I've never had anything off of a food truck besides ice cream, but I don't really count that.
Huh.
enough. Missing
I don't
out.
know. I mean,
All right,
like,
George.
But I was
I'd
gonna
spend
say
a couple
about.
dollars on some tamales. I don't.
Okay.
I was gonna say I prefer. I haven't had tamales, but my go-to for Mexican is chimichangas and fajitas.
Mm-hmm.
Chimichangas are pretty good.
Love chimichangas.
Fajitas are kind of basic, but maybe that's just the ones I have. I feel like if I could make a fajita myself, but
George
we
and I
used to-
did make a fajita
Yeah.
ourselves, and it came out really fucking good.
Yeah, I do occasionally still make them. Well, I mean, not very
Yeah.
much. I don't like my kitchen, so I haven't been cooking in a minute. But when I was still cooking, I would make fajitas occasionally. They are
Mhm.
really easy to make, but I don't think that's a point against them. I think that's a point for them. Personally,
Yeah.
everyone's different. I mean, if you're at a restaurant,
it was
guess
more
I
like
can
if
see that.
I'd order something that there's no shot I would be able to make myself.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've also
fajitas are good, though.
I've also gotten where, like, if I'm going to a Mexican place, I order anything that says it has lime in it.
Interesting. Okay.
I like
'cause that
pad
shit's
thai.
poppin'.
I like pad thai with the lime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I should have
Very
done
good.
pad thai.
Love pad thai. Those bean
Wait, so
sprouts.
what-
Bean
what-
sprouts are the best vegetable. I don't know if they count as a vegetable. Whatever they are, they're the best of those. Love bean sprouts. So good.
Wait, so RJ, what influenced the lime choice? Just experience?
The lime,
Think-
yeah, experience.
Things that had lime in them tended to be very good.
Yeah, like, and I've also heard this that completely separate from, like, I started like being like, oh fuck, that shit has lime in it. I love like Mexican food with lime.
That means it's good.
Yeah,
It's the
so
code.
I'm
RJ
gonna
saw
get me some of that.
RJ read the
I
Matrix
started
code.
seeing online like Mexican people talking about how, like, they put lime on fucking everything.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
did.
yeah, it just like goes good with the the Mexican flavors.
Yeah, they in LA they would get like either like spicy Cheetos or like the hot sticks or the Takis or whatever, and then they had this like spice, and I don't know, or flavoring or whatever, and I don't know what it was, but they would put lime over like the chips to make it sticky, and then they'd throw that flavoring on it, it would coat, and it tasted really bomb. But I don't
Yeah,
remember what
but
the
that sounds
flavoring
fucking
was.
amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. Also, the
Yeah.
only beans
That's like
I ever liked was
Secret
when
recipe chips.
I went to my high school girlfriend's like Mexican family, and they cooked me like authentic Mexican or whatever, and that was the one time I like really enjoyed like refried beans. Yeah.
Hmm. I've never
yeah, George hates
enjoyed
beans.
refried beans.
What's wrong? It's just beans.
That's
It's
like
so
the only
basic.
beans I do like that I
It's
can
not
tolerate.
it's not just beans. It's also like brown like
Well, that's just like
sludge.
That's just more beans.
That's just
I
They
guess
mash.
I guess that's
refried them
true.
and they just
Yeah, it's-
dissolve slightly
maybe
into bean
maybe
paste.
it's just
Yeah,
that
bean paste.
they aren't
I have to
the
chew less.
best
It's great.
bean, or maybe it's just like I haven't tried them recently. But like my go-to bean is black beans. Love
Ugh.
black beans.
Black beans, kidney beans.
I still have to
chia
chew for those,
beans, or
though.
whatever the fuck.
I need
I
like
don't know
a.
what beans they use
trash.
for refried beans.
It's probably
but-
pinto. I feel like it would be darker if
Um,
it was black beans.
Mhm.
And I don't know any other beans.
I don't think I enjoy a lot of other beans other than black beans.
I don't like beans in general.
Beans are great. More
I wish I
more
did,
for
'cause
me.
they're very healthy.
More
but
for me.
I don't.
Mhm.
I just don't like them.
All right. Last note on tamales. So this is like Mexico is kind of where we in the US are going to be more likely to have these, but like a crap ton of other places in like North and South America have like their own variations.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's just very very common ingredients, and then
I'm
you
sure
have-
I would even not be surprised if people make, like non-Mexican foods, like non-Mexican style tamales in America, and like just serve them at Mexican, like brand them as Mexican restaurants, just because
oh yeah, you could
it's
probably
easier
find
to brand it as a Mexican restaurant rather than like Peruvian
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I'm sure if you are actually versed in that sort of thing, you'd be able to tell the different
tell the
styles
difference.
apart. Not me though,
Yeah.
because I'm basic. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the ones I've had were Mexican, but that's just because they're the most common.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Next one. Boom. Blank is a porridge made from boiled cornmeal. Blank is often served with flavorings as a breakfast dish. Blank can either be savory or sweet. With savory.
Grits.
RJ, let me
Grits, yeah.
fucking finish. God damn it. Yeah, it's grits.
Yeah.
Maybe I made these too easy. I don't know.
Maybe you did.
I was talking about how
Maybe
it's a
maybe I
difficult
know
needle
more
to thread.
about food than I thought I did. Maybe
I
I'm
mean,
actually
next-
a food genius.
I was
I
like,
think
ma-
even I would have gotten that one.
I don't know. None of us live in
I
the
don't
South.
think I would have gotten. I don't think
not
I
to.
would have gotten this like 3 years ago.
I mean, yeah, like this is
I don't
not
think
a
I knew
common
what grits
dish
were like 3 years ago.
where we live.
Oh, I did definitely. Yeah, but I have family.
You've lived down south though.
and I also have like family from the south. Like my stepdad's
Yeah.
parents like live in the south.
Yeah, I this is not served around here. I would have to go pretty far.
You're lucky.
I would
It's-
say
it's
every time I've
disgusting.
ever had grits, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
So that's the thing though. It's like when you're like, oh, you're visiting like the southern United States, and like, oh,
It's
they
like
have grits
oatmeal
at the
with no
hotel
flavor.
buffet, like the breakfast
Yeah.
buffet, and it's garbage. I think grits can be good. I think
maybe.
it's probably in the mind.
Yeah.
I am probably more likely to encounter bad grits than I am good grits.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
grits can be made well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just that no place I've ever had grits has served
was good.
grits.
Yeah.
I think that's just an unfortunate.
Is that where the term gritty comes from? Because they do feel like when I think of the
I
texture,
feel like it's
think
the other way around. I
I
imagine
see, I see.
they're called grits because
Because
the texture is gritty.
It's not a very
Yeah.
appetizing name or texture,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
it's not
No.
good. Like just have oatmeal, it's better. Like I don't get it.
I think
Yeah.
is it healthier because it's not oatmeal's not oats obviously and not corn, but
It was probably just
feel like
like
oats are healthier than corn,
significantly
aren't they?
more. It's probably
I would
just
think so, but I don't
significantly
know.
more accessible.
Yeah.
Cornmeal's like grits is probably cheaper. That's
Absolutely.
probably it.
the U.S. is
Yeah.
loaded with corn.
Yeah, there's so much
Yeah.
corn. I love corn on the cob. That's one of my favorite foods. Fucking love corn on the cob.
One of my friends from like a D&D group I play with
Mhm.
was talking about Destiny
Mm-hmm.
2, I think.
Mhm.
And he was talking about how like in like the newest expansion they have like some cornfields and the corn looks all fucky, and I was like, that is the fucking most Midwesterner like
These corn
thing where you're like-
textures aren't accurate.
Yeah.
This corn is off.
Yeah.
Actually,
Uh,
corn is this height and this coloring.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pat yourself
Yeah.
on the back. Again, it's hard to tell because you guessed before me, but I feel like I would have gotten all three so far as well.
Yeah.
All right,
Like I
well,
definitely know what all three are. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't we're not keeping points here, so it's not like RJ's winning or anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Be
He
fast.
should just
Be
keep it faster.
faster.
So that I can win.
Or RJ, let me finish reading. Or actually, no, just be kind to George and let George go first, in case you do happen to know it. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Give George a time to shine.
Oh yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the one food I haven't personally had, but I've seen. It's all you, George. Blank is a chicken dish prepared by roasting chicken marinated in yogurt and spices in a cylindrical
Marsala?
clay oven. What did I say? I said finish. Let me finish reading.
Sorry.
The dish originated from the subcontinent and is
Curry?
popular with. I'll kill you.
Tiki masala. Tiki masala. It's
And
tiki
is
masala.
popular in many other parts of the world.
Tiki masala.
It's
What was
probably
the other? What were the other things you said?
Maybe
Okay,
curry?
so
I also said masala.
Popular
but I
in
don't
many
think that
other
has
parts of the
yogurt.
world sounds like curry to me. Curry's
Yeah,
everywhere.
tiki
but it
masala is a
definitely
type
came
of
from
curry.
India.
is tikka masala kind of a type of curry?
I believe so.
Probably.
Well, I don't know because that's
But I
not
feel like
that's not the answer I
tikka
have here.
masala specifically is not popular in many other
And
parts
George,
of the world.
George, for your information, this is a description I took exactly from Wikipedia. This may apply to also tikka masala.
Yeah,
So,
it probably
Tikka
does
masala might
apply
also
to
be
tikka
prepared
masala.
in this manner.
Oh, the dish. Sorry.
I would guess curry.
I would
but,
actually, George, request you not to Google things because you might find you might find the
well,
answer.
I'm just googling something you already told me it wasn't. So. But yeah, it
all
is.
right,
It says type of dish curry, so I was right that it's a type of curry. Sorry, that's all I was
Okay.
googling.
Yeah, there's a lot of variations of curry. Everybody has their own curry.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. Is this curry?
No,
No, it's not curry.
it's not
Okay.
curry.
I don't know any other Indian dishes. I'd love to go to more Indian restaurants, but
All right.
like
How did
wait,
you
wait,
know
wait,
it was
wait, wait.
Indian? Because
Yogurt
it
and
said
spices.
sub-
yogurt and
Subcontinent.
spices. Okay,
There's
yeah,
only
it
one,
is Indian.
There's
I'll give
only
you that.
one place that's called that is ever referred to as a subcontinent, and that's India.
Oh, really? I didn't
I
know
mean,
that
maybe
was...
not ever, but like if you're talking about a subcontinent, like 99 times out of 100, they're talking about India.
Damn, no, I didn't think about that.
I just knew from
Just in
yogurt
my
and
experience.
spices. I just know
RJ's a detective.
from like looking up curry that a lot of the recipes have yogurt in them, and then spices, yogurt
Ah.
and spices. I was just like curry right off my.
Curry is the only Indian food. I mean, there's curry. There's what?
Chicken tikka
What was
masala.
the? Yeah, tikka masala. What was the dish that
I
the
said
Muslim family at school always brought in every time any one of them had a birthday? Samosas.
samosas.
Those are fucking amazing. But I don't-
Samosa sounds
but I don't
incredibly
think those are made with
familiar,
chicken.
but that's not what I have
I
here.
think those
but
use like potato or something. I think those are veggie, like vegetarian, or there's at least vegetarian versions.
And then I
Oh.
said I said chicken No.
Chicken masala,
Yeah.
not
is that-
marsala, because
What is-
marsala is Italian.
Now,
Masala is
No,
Indian.
that's what I said at first, marsala, because I think marsala is
Yeah.
also made with yogurt sometimes, but that was before I read the rest.
okay. That's also not what I have, but I don't know if that's like a subcategory of this. So I'm going to go
Yeah,
ahead and
but
show
'cause
the
it's
picture
Italian.
and see if... Oh, well then never mind.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'm going to go
What?
ahead and show the picture.
Marsala is Italian, so I doubt it's the.
Yeah.
the
It is very
Yeah.
much Indian dish.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're all on the same page.
Yes.
That's probably some Indian dish I've just not heard of.
Do you
maybe.
do you recognize the coloring that seemed to stick out for me?
No.
Red.
Pretty much, yeah.
Red.
This
chicken,
very much-
onion,
this-
curry
lime.
curry is basically my exclusive image of what Indian food is.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Did I
and
should I go
samosas.
ahead and pull the trigger on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
pull
All
the
right.
trigger.
This is called tandoori chicken. I think I'm saying that right.
Tandoori chicken.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I
Same.
But
might have
never
actually
would've gotten
had.
that.
I've seen this on
tandoori
menus.
chicken at some point.
It seems weird
From
to
like
just
the
have...
one time I went to an Indian place and they didn't serve curry, so I was like, oh, I guess I'll get some for now.
It
Oh
seems
no, I
weird.
have to experiment.
It seems weird to have just like a bone-in chicken with just like loose onions. Like, do you just eat the onions separately?
I
Like, I understand the
I don't
lime,
think this is.
you
I don't think this is.
I think you.
This is probably just a
I think
picture
you would-
taken for like, here's what tandoori chicken is. Throw some other things on there.
Yeah,
Oh,
photo
it's just
up.
plating.
you would probably eat that all together too.
Yeah, I
anyway.
don't. I don't think you leave 2 lemon wedges on there.
That's what I would do.
Well, the lime or lemon makes sense. You just squeeze the juice over the meat.
Yeah.
But it's the loose onions that.
Yeah, no,
kinda
I
strange
don't
to me.
believe that's an integral. I don't think you need to have the pile of loose onions in order for it to be
Okay.
tandoori chicken.
Mhm.
Tandoori
Interesting.
chicken actually refers to the cylindrical clay oven it is cooked in is actually called a tandoor, and that is where it gets its name.
Oh, that also sounds
Oh.
very vaguely familiar.
So that is the unique
That
aspect.
doesn't sound at all familiar to me.
That's the
It's
unique aspect
It's
to this
interesting
dish.
it's interesting that like I feel like I've definitely heard of tandoori chicken, but have not at all heard anything about like
Why it's called that?
why it's called that or like how it's cooked or anything like that.
Me neither.
But George possibly has.
Yeah, like tandoor sounds very familiar.
I've only seen this in like menus and stuff. I really am super. I need to try more Indian stuff, but I also
We
can't
might
handle
have
I've been
spice.
to Indian restaurants. I've been to Indian restaurants literally twice in my life.
Go more. Try stuff
I've
out.
been the same amount of
I
time.
wish I could,
it's
but
'cause I'm-
they're not
They're
that
bad around
near,
you?
And there's exactly one person I know who also is willing to eat Indian food, and that's my dad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan. From what I don't like curry, like the spice palette, or the spice sort of. Is that what you call it? A spice palette, or like the sort of.
Tolerance?
No, like
the spice.
Not,
The spice
not to do with the.
profile. The
Thank you,
spice
yeah, the
profile.
profile,
Curry.
yeah.
Oh, because it's
The
different
flavor
depending on
profile
where the
doesn't
curry is
really-
from.
Well, no. Just like the general spices that is used in Indian cooking comes up or creates sort of a generic, flavor profile, and I'm not a huge fan of that flavor profile.
I see.
I am, but I just like I said, I just don't get like I just don't get opportunities.
Yeah. I think this is probably another type of cuisine where I'm going to find one dish I like and then have it so infrequently that I'll only ever order that. But I don't even have
Yeah.
that one dish, so maybe it'll be tandoori chicken for me.
That does look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd try that.
I probably wouldn't eat the pile of onions, but yeah. Eat
I
some.
would. I mean, I'd eat a raw onion, but
Yeah,
it just
I would.
feels,
Are you
it feels
fucking
like
kidding me?
unique to me.
George would eat a
Not
gallon
raw,
of onions.
Not raw onion, but I eat a standalone
Onion's
onion
good.
that's cooked.
Onion is good.
Yeah, I love onion. I'll get extra onions on burgers and stuff.
Oh, but then
love
that's like your
onions.
entire day breath wise, unless you like brush your teeth after.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the onion. Sometimes it's like, if it's cooked, maybe it's a little bit less strong. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. I guess I managed to stump you guys, but it was not
Yeah.
it was not to the degree of fuck you, Ryobi. I've never heard of this food. This isn't real. So I guess
Yeah.
I'll count that as a chalk one up for me. All right.
Mm-mm.
Blank is a blank soup dish consisting of broth, rice, noodles, herbs, and meat, usually beef, sometimes chicken. RJ, remember, let George answer first. Also,
Okay,
George,
I
let
think
me,
I know
let,
what
me-
it
let me
is.
finish reading. Thank you for being polite. even if you think you know. Blank is a popular food in blank, whereas served in households, street stalls, and restaurants countrywide. Blank is considered
rice
its
noodles.
national dish.
Oh, pho. Is this pho?
Yeah, pho.
It is pho.
Yeah.
This is Vietnam's national dish.
Vietnam, yeah.
Yeah. I had pho. I've had pho once in my life, and I was like, it's soup.
It's fucking great soup.
I prefer Japanese style soup, the two Vietnamese style soup.
They're very. I think they're different. Different dishes.
Either one. They're like
udon.
The broth is like too
udon
thin.
Soups.
It's
no. I mean, like I would
if
like a Japanese udon soup is different enough from pho that I would not be like equate them in my mind. I guess it's like a broth. And
they do have
rice noodles,
roughly similar flavor profiles, I would say.
Yeah, and they both have thick noodles too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I could see that. I just slightly prefer udon soup to like a pho. But we have a pho place in the city that I live in, and it's pretty good. We go there occasionally.
Yeah, that's the one place I've had pho.
I haven't had pho in a really long time.
Pho house.
I should pick some up. Maybe
you're doxing us, RJ.
George, edit
There's
it
probably
out.
1,000 places called pho house.
There's only one pho house, and it's exactly where I live.
In fairness, they don't.
I live in pho house.
Yeah,
they're not very creative with the names. The first place that came to my mind is a restaurant near up near me, and then the name is just Pho Town Name. It's not creative in the slightest.
What's your country of choice for Asian food? I think mine's pretty obvious.
I don't know. I think this is also a case of depending on where it is. On where it is, I pick one dish and like it, and just like I don't think I could name another Vietnamese dish besides pho. Because also there's different. You can depending on what you put in it.
It's not that
it varies enough for me.
I know certain things that you really love from different countries. But like, I don't know your opinions on any of the rest of their food.
Yeah. I mean, when I go, like, it's like I get like, one or two dishes usually.
Like, I don't know if you like pad see ew more than sushi.
Pad see ew is actually no longer my Thai dish of choice. It's been overtaken by pad thai, but that's only because the place that we go to makes an excellent pad thai, but I'm not a huge fan of their pad see ew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should leave them a comment card. Like, you made me change my favorite dish because it's garbage.
I think I would have to go with Chinese.
You think Chinese is my favorite, or you're saying Chinese is
No, for me. For me.
Interesting.
For you, I would say Thai or Japanese.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
I probably had the most food. Chinese and Japanese, so it's probably one of those two.
Love me some Japanese food, but Thai is a close second. Love Thai food.
It's not like I dislike the others really. It's like, I mean, I've actually been to China and had Peking duck there, and that basically wins it.
I almost picked that.
On its own.
I almost picked that as the dish.
Yeah, I've been like London Peking duck is better than any Japanese food I've ever had. But like when I think of Chinese food, I think of like going to an American Chinese place.
Yeah, American Chinese is very.
I also would say I like there's American Chinese dishes that I also really like. Like
yeah, there are
I don't think I've ever had a General Tso's chicken that I didn't like.
That's true.
I'm like 90% sure that's an American invention.
It is
entirely.
Yeah,
I almost picked that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like
General Tso's is great.
It's never bad. Basically,
beef and broccoli.
It's always at least decent. Oh yeah, beef and broccoli is good. Yeah.
It's actually. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. And it's like, especially if you go to more authentic places too, they'll have some dishes that, I can never remember the name of because, I just, go there and then have the dish that I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that was good.
Yeah. So
I desperately need some more Peking duck in my life.
I made it one time with me and April made it. It was extremely hard, like because we made the pancakes, and the pancakes you have to like fold over.
Yeah, because they're crazy thin.
Yeah, you had to like fold them out, and then you have to like make sure that when you fold them, they're hollow, and then so that after you've like cooked them, you can like stick a fork in and separate them in half. So it's like half of like this already thin tortilla you make. It was really hard to make the pancakes. That was the most frustrating part, but it was delicious.
That's admirable you even tried, though. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long
It's a
cooking day.
fancy schmancy dish, though.
If you want to get into cooking, one dish that I really liked making was just like a non-authentic like I think I got it off of Babish's channel. Shout out to Binging with Babish. But the carbonara is really, it's like an eggy cheesy Italian dish that's pretty easy to make, and it's really good. So that's my tip of the day. If you want to get into cooking, try making carbonara.
Carbonara.
Or just watch Binging with Babish and live vicariously through him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what when I was into cooking before I moved to this house. I was watching a lot of him. Great channel.
I wish I had the desire to learn how to cook.
Oh,
But
I wish I had the kitchen
Yeah.
too.
I
Watch
unfortunately,
I wish I had like the determinate. Like I have like a slight desire, but like I'm always like it's like should I try cooking? I'm tired. I want to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't cooked in an embarrassing amount of time. Like since I moved, so and I've moved like I've
Yeah.
cooked a couple times here, but I hate our kitchen. It's got no cabinets and an electric stove.
see, it's.
Do you have another dish, Ryobi?
I have one more. I was just gonna slight add on to that. I think it's hard to like. It takes a certain kind of mix of for lack of a better word, parameters in order to like kind of teach yourself how to cook, because you need.
Yeah.
It's hard to just cook for yourself. You need
Yeah.
people. It's because it's so much easier to make things in batches.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make like a dish for a group of people, because then it's like it's optimizing your use of ingredients and time.
Yeah. Definitely.
But also I have the unfortunate trait, but also fortunate trait of being able to eat the same thing every single day and not getting sick of it. So
Same here.
I have no
That's a
desire
great
to like
trait to have.
I have no desire to learn beyond what I absolutely need to.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of like the things we make, and we have like 14 dishes or so. Maybe like 14-ish, maybe more, like 20-ish dishes. It's not like we just like alternate weeks. Maybe it's more like 14 because there's some dishes we have basically every week. Like 14-ish dishes that we like alternate between that we make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm like I need to try something new.
Damn, 14.
It doesn't help that most of them are pasta, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, pasta's good.
Yeah.
Pasta's really good.
It's a good staple.
I'm a pasta slut.
A good thing to get out of the pasta sort of trap is risotto.
Oh, I like
I love
risotto.
Yeah.
Risotto is great, and it's not that hard to make.
Just a new texture,
Yeah.
different style of grain.
Also, because of I think I brought this up on the podcast before. Maybe it was just in casual conversation, but I did one of the meal kits. I can't even remember which one, but I won't say because for free.
Somebody who's
advertising.
not sponsoring us.
Yeah. But one of the meal kits I
fool.
did, and they had quinoa, and I tried quinoa for the first time, and quinoa is so great. It's amazing. I love quinoa.
Different.
I feel like I've had quinoa and it was terrible.
It's so good.
Is it significantly different from like risotto or any of those other grains?
Well, yeah, it's similar to rice. It's just like a little. It's like a little squishier and like and more sizable, I guess.
Okay. Do you prefer it,
I don't know. It's hard.
or
to
is it
say.
just a novelty?
It's kind of like a novelty.
Okay.
I guess, but it is very good.
I've heard it's good.
Few times I've had it.
All right. It is getting we're kind of drawing near the close here, so I am gonna just kind of bang through this last one.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Blank is a flavorful broth traditionally served inside a large metal pot. The broth is brought to a boil and left simmering for the duration of the meal. Raw ingredients are placed into the simmering broth and thus cooked. Typical ingredients include thinly sliced meat, leaf, vegetables, mushrooms, vermicelli, sliced potatoes, bean products, egg dumplings, tofu, and seafood. George, first, how do I say that word?
Is this?
Wait,
What
let
word?
George guess.
Tofu? Are you
Hold
saying-
on, I'm kind of.
How do I
talking
say
about
the
breaking
word
in and
after
out.
mushrooms?
Oh, vermicelli.
Vermicelli?
Vermicelli. Celli or
I thought
Celli?
Vermicelli?
One of us is right, one of us is
I don't
wrong.
know.
I should know Italian more. I do know a sentence in
I don't know.
Italian.
I have no
Tu
idea.
sei una donna dolce, which means you are a sweet woman.
You could convince me either way, whichever way it was.
But I think it's celli.
Sure.
Vermicelli.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
Just say it in an Italian accent and it'll be right.
yeah. Probably. RJ, you seem to have a guess,
I don't
but
know.
do you want to let
It's a
do you want to let
soup.
George guess first?
No, I had to guess, but
No,
when you said tofu and seafood, it's not it's not what I was gonna guess. I thought it was
Yeah.
jambalaya at first, but no, it's not.
Okay, so it's similar to oh god, what were the other foods we did? Hold on. What was the first? The first one was tortellini. The second one was something else. 4 was
Tofu.
tandoori. Tofu is an ingredient.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think out loud. Tofu
Okay.
and seafood. Tofu and seafood makes me think Japanese or Chinese,
Yeah.
or maybe
You'd-
Korean.
Same with
be
egg
correct.
dumpling.
Yeah.
Egg dumplings. Yeah.
This is another situation
Didn't
where
this-
it was technically originated in one country, but a lot of people have variations now. Oh, like tamales.
Interesting.
So a lot of people, a
Well,
lot of
I-
other countries
I was
have
gonna say,
have their own versions of this.
If this had like noodles, I might just like guess like ramen or something. But, like I don't know.
Wow,
Like
this is.
like
Have either of you
Mm.
had this before? Because I feel like if you did, you would have recognized it, or maybe you think it's.
I doubt
Is
it.
that
it just sounds
I
like a
don't like
random
tofu.
soup to me.
I don't like tofu, so I wouldn't have had it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's
tofu.
not. It's these are typical ingredients. You don't have. You actually. The way this actually happens, I might as well go into detail. You pick what you want to cook, and you cook ingredients in like one by one.
Definitely never had that.
Really?
Never had this.
I highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
It's not available around us.
Yeah. So you
Otherwise, I probably would have had
most
it.
likely
Yeah.
you are going to find a Japanese or Chinese variation of this. I can add a picture if that helps, but it really is just going to be
Yeah, I
what's
don't
in the
think we're
description.
A soup.
Yeah, we were. I don't think we know the name of this.
Okay. Have you ever have you ever heard of hot pot?
No.
Really?
Oh, hot pot. That's what this is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've never even
Okay.
heard of hot pot.
I've heard of hot pot. Yeah.
Hot pot is
there's
so
no
good.
hot pot. There's no hot pot places anywhere around.
You know what? That's fair. I'd have to go into
I'm
Chinatown
like almost 100% sure.
to find something like this. But then,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
then there's just like a crap ton of places in Chinatown.
Yeah, now that once you said hot pot, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know.
Yes, this is exactly what this is. Yeah, so this originated in China, but a lot of Japan has a variation that's I've
You
seen
even
called
consider
shabu
that,
shabu.
like
or
a
nabe
fucking,
mono is like the broader
can you
term
even
for it.
consider that like a dish?
Yes,
It's just like
I
it's
can,
just like
and I do.
here's soup. Make whatever soup you want.
No,
Here's
it's
soup
not.
and soup ingredients.
No, it's not soup.
It's kind of
It's
like
it's
calling-
broth,
hot
and you
broth
cook,
and ingredients.
No, you cook it in the broth, and then you take it out of the broth.
It's kind of like
Oh,
calling.
you take it out of the broth?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's kind of like calling a Subway sandwich a dish. It's basically the Subway of Chinese soups.
Yeah.
But it's not you're the
It's not
point is
actually a
the point
soup.
is
Oh.
you get broth
It's just
you get
something
broth
being
with
cooked
it,
in the broth.
but you're cooking the ingredients individually one by one in the
Oh,
broth.
I assumed when you take your ingredients out, you also take some of the broth.
You take
Like
some of
in
the
a-
broth, yes, but it's like you don't
So it's a
you
soup.
don't
It is a
no you
soup.
don't have to.
Oh, you don't have. So there's no gun to your head forcing you.
There's no gun to your head forcing you to take broth with your ingredients. You're
I
it's
see.
gonna taste like the
Yeah.
broth because you're cooking in the broth, but then there's also a bunch of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dipping sauces you can dip it into.
No, I would
Interesting.
absolutely do. I would absolutely do hot pot given the access, but like
Dude,
no access.
we should get hot pot
Zero
sometime.
access.
Sometime.
We should
I'm,
go
Yeah,
back
well,
out
I-
to
I'm gonna
I-
find the
Boston.
nearest hot pot
Yeah.
place. Or
Yeah.
I mean, Boston's a big city. I'm sorry, Ryan.
no, it's
Oh,
fine.
damn it! I said your name too. Fuck.
It's okay. You know what? We made it. We made
I'm
it to the end of the
sorry,
podcast.
Ryan, last name.
We made it to the end of the podcast before you slipped up. And I also did say
Yeah.
Chinatown for. I mean, not that there's
Can I?
only one
I
Chinatown,
want
but
to add one.
a dish.
Yeah. See if you know.
Okay, RJ's turn to play the game. Are you gonna look up the description on Wikipedia and then just omit the obvious clues?
Okay.
Bonus round. I almost had a bonus round with like a dessert or something, but
You
was tired.
might get it pretty quick. This is just the first.
Is this for me or is this for
thing I
George and me?
thought of. George and you.
Okay.
A deep fried ball or patty shaped fritter. Using ground chickpeas, broad beans, or both. I
Falafel?
believe chickpeas. Yep.
Ayo. Okay, I'll do one.
Didn't you say falafel earlier in this?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
I feel like you had
And
falafel
it
on
was
the
either
brain.
that or I was like, Middle Eastern should in some way be represented, and like this is the first thing I thought.
Oh
of.
yeah, I picked all over the place.
All right. Okay, I'll do one as well.
Because I love Middle Eastern food.
Blank is a traditional steamed pudding, historically made with suet and dried fruit, and often served with
Is this a
custard.
fucking UK dish? That's disgusting.
Non-traditional variants include
Is this
replicas.
spotted dick?
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think we both are correct on that one, RJ.
Spotted dick is delicious. I love beef
Honestly, I
spotted dick.
believe it.
Yeah.
I'd have some spotted dick.
It's basically just like a fruitcake with custard like drenched over top.
I don't
of
really
it.
like fruitcake.
That sounds good.
Or at least I haven't had a fruitcake I have liked.
Well,
But maybe
I not-
I haven't
I've
had
never
this.
had a
So
fruitcake.
It's more like it's more dense and small than an actual fruitcake or whatever. And it doesn't have the it's not actually a cake, but that's the best way I could think to describe it.
yeah,
It's very good.
I thought this.
I've never had a fruitcake. It's surprising to me that cartoons growing up depicted them as
Christmas only and
essentially
disgusting.
evil.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, how could that happen?
Your family
Fruit
hates you
and
if they
cake are
make
both good.
you
Like,
this.
like fruit and cake are both good, even if it was just fruit.
Yeah.
Like, how could you fuck fruit up?
I actually I didn't really like fruit growing up, so
I didn't like some fruit. I still don't like bananas. They're very mushy and gross, and I hate them. I don't like the smell.
I'll fucking deep throat a banana.
Oh, and it's a little gay.
You're stupid. And I'm stupid. I'm stupider for laughing. God damn it.
We love our gay kings and queens.
Just
Fuck,
not
I'll
just
deep
not
throat a
bananas
strawberry.
if George is concerned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate bananas.
Get more bananas for RJ and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this
bananas
this was I think successful. I enjoyed this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
hope
this is a good segment.
I hope I picked some things that were not too hard. Some of them you did get instantly. So I mean, maybe I guess we also are limited by obviously our palates, and I'm like I didn't really want to pick a bunch of foods I'd never personally eaten, or some things that have like incredibly whatchamacallit,
Weird descriptions.
weird names. Like you might be like, oh, I understand the concept of this dish, but I have no idea that it was named that or something like that.
I see.
I
Yeah,
think
that makes
I
sense.
think part of what threw me off about hot pot is that it's
Such a simple
two
name.
extremely English words.
Yeah, I could have put the Chinese name, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know
that
what
would
it
be
is.
more I think that would be less recognizable
Yeah.
to me. But
Yeah.
like I was instantly like, yeah, that's
I've
Asian
heard.
food.
I
and
know what
tried
that
to
is.
Think of I
Yeah.
tried to think of Asian food and
Yeah.
like
When you went
like
to
two
China,
very English words.
When you went to China, I know they even have some restaurants like this here, but did you go to one of those restaurants? Because we went to like a few, or at least two, where it's like they just bring out like like they basically just bring out the menu, and then there's like a middle table that spins or whatever, and you just get it's like a buffet but at one table essentially.
I think so. I know that's kind of traditionally that's like kind of like the traditional serving style for China is
Mhm.
like you don't order individual foods. It's like there's
Yeah,
various
yeah,
foods for a whole table and you all have some.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure we did, but like I can't think clearly. Really weird, interesting thing about China. China was the very first place I ever had hash browns.
What?
Yeah, they were McDonald's hash browns.
I hate you. You're the
Um,
worst. Also, I'm pretty sure I didn't know you've both been to China. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and we could have gone
Mhm.
together, but we didn't because RJ had already been to
didn't.
China.
Yeah.
So we went to a hoity-toity private school. And
Oh, so it's like a school
they-
trip, and then he went the year
Yeah.
before or something. Oh, yeah.
No. I had gone to China entirely independently of that.
Oh,
My aunt was
and
teaching there for
you
a
didn't go
time,
back given
and
the option.
my family, but it's
expensive.
not like the school paid for
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
my family was like, essentially you've already been to China.
We're not gonna pay
We're not gonna
$1,000.
pay $1,000 for you to go back.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah, which was fair. One
Yeah,
I was
totally
such
fair.
I was such a spoiled rich kid. One time we were this paints me in a very
Do you
bad
want to?
light,
Do you
which I
want to
guess-
continue to out yourself? Because this seems to be a recurring theme whenever we're on the podcast. As George tells embarrassing stories about himself, just because he
Yeah.
feels like he has to. You don't. It's okay.
But the school was planning to go to like Costa Rica to like help build schools or something. I don't know what they were
Buildings,
doing.
yeah.
But at the same time, my family was planning a trip to go to the Bahamas to just
you went to the
chill
Bahamas,
and
right?
relax. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the Bahamas.
Huh?
Because it wasn't just like it's not just like, oh, I don't want to build schools. Like that wasn't even my main concern. The main concern was we were going to be staying like two people in like a house with like locals, and
yeah.
I just have a lot of
Ugh,
social anxiety. So
Gross. Locals?
well, I feel awkward around
George
new
can't
people.
be living with
The least favorite
peasants.
part of the China trip, and so like in the on the China trip we did the same thing, and that was the weird fact I was going to bring up about China. I can't.
But you
say
stayed
if
with
this
locals?
was-
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was like, and I can't say I don't know if this is indicative of all people in China or even all people in that city that we were visiting, our sister city. But like they every day, the entire week, like 5 days I stayed with them, they had noodles and Sprite for breakfast every day.
That's
So-
fucking
I refuse to
wild.
believe that's common. I refuse to believe that's
I don't
common.
think that's common, but
I
it was
think
like,
they were trying
it
to
was
make
so
you feel at
routine.
home. The
Yeah, that
American
could have
feel at
been
home
it.
with the Sprite.
Yeah.
I
But
really
they
hope
do-
that's not true.
They do love Sprite over there. I don't know
Why?
what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, good for
They-
them,
they-
but
the Coke over there also.
Yeah, obviously, but I feel like they like Sprite more there than we like Sprite here. But maybe I was
Different
just
palates,
imagining
to be
that.
sure.
That's possible.
lemon soda.
I
Yeah.
Coke like Pepsi is not, as far as I could tell, Pepsi is not in the Chinese market even a little bit.
Brand loyal.
Completely not in the Chinese market.
Yeah, I did only see Coke, but I didn't like think of it.
Oh wait, I know.
Like,
I did know
didn't
you've
think
been
of
to
it.
China because you said you embarrassed that girl when you went to your sister school.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't have to rehash that. Okay,
That's
no,
true.
I did know
I
that,
feel
and
so
I'm
bad.
just dumb and I forgot.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I want to go to China at some point. Sounds
It's-
cool.
it's pretty cool.
kind of scary, but I think it is a cool place.
It's
I think
interesting.
it's
George,
not-
the
it's
class did
Probably no
not
scarier
go
than here,
to-
actually. TBH.
Yeah.
It's-
Also,
it's
I think
kind
it's
of
scary
interesting
for
that-
the locals than it is tourists. I
Yeah.
think tourists is pretty safe.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, RJ?
It's kind of interesting that I think what was your favorite part about your trip to China?
We saw like a Cirque du Soleil style Chinese show with a lot of acrobatics and
That's
singing and
dope.
stuff, and it was
Oh,
really
that's cool.
yeah, it was really nice. I think it was
Because
in Shanghai.
my favorite part, and I never went to Shanghai, and I kind of wanted to, but we never got the chance. But we did see the terracotta soldiers, which
We
like
didn't.
Whoa,
genuinely
dude.
floored me, and you guys didn't. And that's
Yeah.
crazy to me because that seems like way up. Because like whenever our school went anywhere, it wasn't like a trip for fun. We had like museums and like cultural exhibits and that kind of thing
Mhm.
like on the docket for like basically every hour of the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can
it's wild to me that you guys didn't visit the terracotta where the terracotta soldiers are.
The biggest culture shock for me was people would have like they'd have their kids on leashes, which wasn't the culture shock. I mean, people do that here. But and then the kids would have like slits in like where their butt is or whatever, and then the kids would just like poop on the ground, and then they just pick it up like it was like a dog or something, which was like a huge culture shock to me.
Yeah.
But I
No
guess if
disposable
it's
diapers.
normalized, yeah,
I don't think I noticed that at all. I like the I was much younger when I went to China than
Mhm.
George was. I
Yeah, I
was
was like freshman.
I think I was under 10. Like
Mm.
I can't tell you exactly what like time or age it's been a while, but
Mhm.
I remember running around the Great Wall, and like I ran ahead, and like I think two different like groups of like Chinese guys like asked to take pictures with me.
Oh yeah, that was so constant. Like we walked anywhere and a
it
ton of
was
people would
it
ask
was
for our
very
picture.
it was very
Did you have
strange.
uniforms
Yeah.
or something?
No.
Literally
No,
just
it's just like if they see like a
non-Chinese people.
Caucasian, yeah, or any non uh Chinese person, they're like it's pretty fascinating because I think a lot of people come from like the like the sort
Rural.
of more rural parts of China to
Mm-hmm.
visit the Great Wall and Shanghai and things like that. So like
That's
Uh-huh.
fair.
the sort
Yeah,
of
it's not
local
just a.
tourists. Yeah. The local tourists are really like fascinated by other ethnicities and
Mhm.
cultures.
I do kind of feel that like the same way. Like I when I went to fucking Mackinac Island,
Mm-hmm.
like there like notice of like there's a couple of like more than a few people who are clearly like international visitors. I'm like
Oh.
that's very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
You came to the U.S. from way super far away, and you decide to come to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you made, from what I know, Mackinac Island is a pretty ritzy place, so that doesn't surprise me though. From
Mhm.
Yeah.
from a non-Michigander.
It's genuinely cool. It's
Yeah,
like there's no cars on the island at all,
good.
which is like it, just like especially from the
From the
from
U.S.,
the
that's
U.S. That's
wild.
such a huge like
That's
culture shock.
wild.
And it's not even like a non-American city. It's straight up like it's like it's like a year-round like like
People live their real
like
ass lives like that. Yeah,
yeah it's not like Renaissance fair obviously, but it's almost
it's out of time.
like it's like
Like an
yeah
Amish community or something?
it's kind of like I imagine like visiting an Amish community would feel similar. Like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like it's obviously not entirely out of time. Like there's obviously like
Electricity and
very
stuff.
modern shops and like everything like that. But just like the fact that there aren't any cars, and
Mm-hmm.
like there are like loads of horse and buggy and like or not horse and buggy, like horse and carriage rides and stuff like that. Like it really feels like it kind of feels like visiting a different time, or at least a very different, like a very very removed place compared to like
Anywhere else.
like going anywhere else in
we're in-
America.
Yeah, you need a car for
like,
pretty much
would be-
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be
Yes.
but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we should
Mackinac
probably wrap.
Island is cool. I recommend it.
All right.
Yep.
I think that's on that note. I think we should probably wrap up here. We've been going a little bit
it's
over.
pretty late.
Yes, sir.
So we're not gonna get flexed on by George tonight.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll have to. I did have the flag quiz as a possibility, but yeah, we're not doing that now. We'll save that to get dunked on in the future, and maybe we'll make it competitive, or maybe we'll make it collaborative if RJ and I don't want our feelings hurt.
Collaborative. I don't want my feelings hurt.
So I have absolutely no plan of what we're gonna do next time, so I'm not even gonna try to give like a teaser of segments we might possibly run. We'll talk about scheduling later. I will need to coordinate with you guys because next Thursday may not work, but we'll talk about that offline. But anyway, if you're either watching clips on YouTube or happen to stop by the stream, thanks for watching. We'll be doing this. Like I said, our current schedule is every other Thursday. We might have some slight scheduling rearrangements, but for the most part, that's what we're going with. Next episode is going to be on George's channel, which is Twitch TV Gamerist George. He'll be hosting that. And I think that's all I have. Did you guys have anything to say?
Yeah. Also, after August, we may have to switch up
the day
anyway, because I've got a Tuesday Thursday, like I've got 3 Tuesday Thursday classes, and those are my only.
Okay, we can talk
my
around.
only day. So we might have to do like Wednesday or something.
Yeah, just finish your Divinity stream. We can move it to Wednesday.
Oh yeah, or maybe we can
just beat Divinity real quick.
Monday. Maybe Divinity Monday, podcast Wednesday, something like that. We'll talk about it offline and
we'll work it out, and we'll probably post the details on YouTube because that's where most of the clips and stuff get posted. Anyway.
So not offline, off air.
Yeah, off air.
Yeah.
At a later date.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait to talk to this until we can talk offline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In person, which it doesn't happen.
We're gonna wait till the wedding.
Yeah, while George is on the altar. Anyone object? George, what are we doing the podcast? George, I have an idea for a segment. It's gonna be I interrupt your stupid ass wedding to talk about tier list for bath hells.
Cheese.
Cheese.
No,
cheese makes too much sense.
In the middle of the ceremony, you have like camera pointed at yourself. All right, 3 heads that are worse than one podcast. Real life this time, yeah! Like,
what up, hotheads? Ryobi here, live in George's fucking wedding. What a loser! Can't catch me with a ball and chain. Ha ha ha!
You throw something at him like behind your.
Get off the stage!
Unironically, Hotheads is a great name for.
Yeah, I'm a fucking genius. Praise me.
Future fan base. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But if I ever become that type of personality in real life, please take me out. Kill me.
All right, I will.
I'll take you out.
On to dinner. And then poison me. If I start to talk like that. All right, we should wrap up. All right, thanks for watching. I'm going to turn the stream off now. Good night, everybody. Bye. Bye.
Bye.